Chapter 1839. Xianxia scratched his hair and sat on a pile of colorful balls in his slippers. He squatted there for a long time and finally turned on his cell phone. Sure enough, the news was filled with reports about today's publicity event. There was talk of a great momentum, a reunion after 2 years, no Zixuan, no Chang'e, and even the prodigal son returns. Xianxia apologizes on the spot and reconciles with Han Zixuan. Turn back your ass. Apologize your ass. Reconcile your ass. What the fuck is this? Xianxia was so angry that he almost smashed his cell phone. At this moment, the big screen in the arcade city suddenly changed. The staff had actually switched it to the live webcast of Under the Heavens promotional site. Wow. It's my goddess Xianxia. It's true. The world is holding an event in the convention center today. It's a pity that I didn't get a ticket. Why is the screen dirty? Our goddess is so beautiful today. She's a beauty addict. The live webcast on the big screen attracted many people's attention. Xianxia's eyes were fixed on it. I like to see how stupid those idiots can be. On the big screen, Han Zixuan changed into a red outfit and put on an exciting fight performance with the staff, causing the fans at the scene and the passers-by who were looking up in the arcade city to exclaim in amazement. Xianxia rested his chin on his hand and swayed on a wooden horse. His eyes almost rolled out of his head. Trained for half a year? Who are you kidding? This flowery frame took at most 3 days to complete. It's all because of the excellent acting skills of the staff who acted with her. Did you notice? There's one more person who's not here today. I heard that this late guest has something to say to our Zixuan. Wow, really? Let's invite this guest to come on stage. As soon as the host's voice fell, Han Zixuan's fans at the scene sighed with dissatisfaction. The passers-by in the video arcade also sighed and complained. Damn, is Xianxia going to appear? Is he finally willing to apologize? Humph, shameless scumbag. I won't forgive him even if he apologizes. Right, he's so tasteless. To think that I used to like him. Now, even his good looks can't make me forgive him. Hearing the host's words, Xianxia's face suddenly changed. Damn it, what's going on? I'm right here. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are these bastards doing? The one with the surname Lei. If you really dare to take the initiative to apologize on my behalf. Xianxia's murderous gaze almost made a hole in the screen. After a short wait, someone finally appeared on the stage. It wasn't Lei Ming, but Su Tao. How could it be this guy? She knew Lei Ming didn't have the guts, so the company sent Su Tao. Xianxia was so angry that he immediately took out his phone and was about to call them. Just as he was searching for the number, he saw from the corner of his eye Su Tao cautiously extending his hand in the direction behind him, as though there were others behind him. First, there was a flash of white. Then, under Su Tao's lead, a figure slowly walked out of the darkness and onto the brightly lit stage. The plain, white cheongsam, the wispy hair, the breathtaking face. She didn't need to wear embroidered clothes to compliment her. She didn't need expensive luxury goods to decorate her. And she didn't even need any words. Her existence was the focal point. Fuck. The moment he saw who was on the screen, Xianxia staggered and rolled down from the little wooden horse. Chapter 1840. In the exhibition center. After a flurry, the front desk and the backstage finally restored the normal order and were ready to smooth things over. If a has-been actress was willing to humiliate herself and add icing on the cake, why wouldn't they do it? However, when the organizer finally reacted, the fans began to riot. The exclamations and discussions in the venue became louder and louder. Everyone was pushing forward crazily. The security guards threatened them with batons and kept blowing whistles, but it didn't work at all. From time to time, people in the crowd cried and screamed when they were pushed. I understand everyone's excitement, but please control your emotions. Ahem, that's right. Everyone, please be quiet. The two hosts talked for a long time, but no one listened to them, so they looked to Han Zixuan and Zheng Anru for help. Seeing that Ningxi's appearance caused such a stir, Zheng Anru's face darkened. Han Zixuan had calmed down. She picked up the microphone and said softly, "My fans, please be quiet, okay? Thank you." In the past, when their idol spoke in person, they would definitely respond. However, at this moment, these people had completely lost their minds and were still pushing crazily. God, Ningxi, is it really Ningxi? Ah, don't push. Don't push. Could it be that the organizers found an imposter? Fuck. Seeing that the whole venue was filled with the names Ningxi, 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 the fans became more and more excited, and the organizer was also in a mess. The scene was about to get out of control. At this time, there was a sudden hush from the microphone. Then a familiar voice was heard in the noise. "Gentlemen, please take care of the girls around you. Don't let them be pushed, okay?" Although the voice was not loud and was as gentle and harmless as the stream water, it was almost drowned out by the noise of the crowd. However, it seemed to have some kind of special power. The moment the voice sounded, all the men at the scene were startled. Not only did they stop pushing and shoving, they even consciously stopped the people beside them from pushing and opened their arms to protect the girls around them like gentlemen. Those girls who were as crazy as the men, after hearing Ningxi's words, all became extremely ladylike. Within 3 seconds, the scene was quickly restored to order, and silence reigned. This was so powerful that it left one flabbergasted. Backstage, Starlight's public relations director's expression was getting more and more solemn. He vaguely recalled that Ningxi's fans were famous for their high quality. The order of the event site was the most orderly among all the artists, as if they were under military management. Although Han Zixuan had accepted Ningxi's huge fan group, she didn't retain this characteristic of being a fan at all. But once Ningxi came back, even Han Zixuan couldn't control her fans. They immediately became so obedient. This was simply the two hosts, who were sweating profusely to maintain order, saw that the scene had suddenly become quiet. They looked at each other in shock. After being stunned for a while, the two of them finally reacted and hurriedly arranged for all the guests and main cast to be seated. Today, Han Zixuan was the only protagonist. No matter what, he had to find a way to turn things around. Chapter 1841. Well, I guess you didn't expect that the organizer could invite the former national goddess Ningxi to attend today. You must be very surprised. Even the hostess is shocked. After all, Ningxi has left the entertainment circle for more than a year. After receiving Zheng Anru's warning glance, the host's seemingly cordial but hidden sarcasm in his words ended. He immediately changed the topic. "Teacher Ning, what do you think of Zixuan's performance just now?" The fans in the audience are very satisfied with Zixuan's new performance of Meng Chang'e. This question, she had said that the fans and the audience were very satisfied. If Ningxi said she was not satisfied, wouldn't she be going against the fans? If she gave a satisfactory answer, it would mean that Han Zixuan's performance was more exciting. Even if Ningxi was a little polite, it could be predicted that the other party would definitely take advantage of the situation. At that time, it would be full of entertainment gossip, such as, "Ningxi is ashamed to watch the performance live. The new generation excels the old," and so on. Ningxi would become the other party's stepping stone. Facing the traps set by the hostess, Ningxi remained calm and gently nodded. The fans and the audience will never be wrong. Hearing this, seeing that Ningxi fell into the trap, Zheng Anru secretly sneered. "Ningxi, I didn't expect that she'd dare to show up. She came at the right time." "Senior, you flatter me. I still have a lot to learn," Han Zixuan replied gracefully and modestly. However, the word senior was full of sarcasm. Both the hostess and Han Zixuan kept saying senior and former, reminding the fact that Ningxi was already a thing of the past at this time. Zheng Anru said casually, "Zixuan really has a lot to learn. Since Senior Ningxi is here today, it's a rare opportunity. Why don't you teach Zixuan with a wonderful fight?" "Yes, Ms. Ning, please give us a fight. You must be looking forward to it, right? Don't you think so?" The hostess immediately echoed. Before Ningxi said anything, Su Tao's face had changed. "Forget it if it's too intense. Ningxi is not in good health recently and can't bear it." Zheng Anru was even happier in her heart when she heard Su Tao's refusal. And how could she be willing to give up such a good opportunity? Ningxi had been a martial arts double before. She had a good foundation and gained a large number of fans with her good skills. But now she had retired from the martial arts circle for a year. She was not as good as before. So what if her appearance remained the same? Meng Changa's character wasn't based on looks. Looking at how weak she was right now, it was obvious that she would not be able to control him. As long as Ningxi disillusioned all the fans today, Zixuan would have nothing to worry about in the future. Ah, I see. What a pity. However, it's just a casual one. It shouldn't be a big deal, right? After all, Teacher Ning's Meng Changa was very popular in those days. Many old fans here are looking forward to seeing Teacher Ning's elegant demeanor again. The host urged. Obviously, he didn't want Ningxi to leave the stage if she didn't perform. Brother Tao was just too nervous. It's nothing serious. Do you have a spear? Ningxi didn't care and asked directly. Su Tao was anxious when he heard this. He firmly remembered Liang Feixing's exhortations. Ningxi had a serious illness before and had just recovered recently. She must not be too tired or do strenuous exercise. Chapter 1842. Su Tao's face darkened. Just as he was about to continue speaking, Ningxi glanced at Su Tao and gave him a reassuring look, indicating that she knew her limits. Su Tao saw Ningxi's calm expression and could only suppress it for the time being. However, his back was tense, ready to deal with any sudden situation. However, even though he was already vigilant enough, he still didn't expect the other party to be so shameless. The staff member who was fighting with Han Zixuan just now was holding a spear in each hand and was standing far away. Then, he actually threw one of the spears directly in Ningxi's direction. An ordinary person definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the huge force of the spear thrown over. Moreover, they would dodge it out of reflex. Obviously, this was the effect that the other party wanted. The cameraman was probably already secretly preparing to take a shot of Ningxi in a sorry state. Just as Su Tao was about to vomit blood in anger and rush forward to block the spear, he saw that Ningxi didn't even blink. Her figure moved back slightly, and then a slender, white hand steadily blocked the spear. After the big screen zoomed in, the fans below the stage could clearly see the speed at which the spear flew over, and when the spear was held in the girl's hand, the body of the spear trembled violently. Wow! There was a burst of exclamations and applause from the audience. Zheng Anru's face darkened. It was just a spear. What was there to shout about? Making a fuss over nothing. The staff member frowned slightly, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. After receiving Zheng Anru's displeased look, he immediately raised the spear in his hand and quickly attacked Ningxi. When he was sparring with Han Zixuan just now, Zheng Anru had already bragged that his opponent was a professional martial arts actor. He had also been training Han Zixuan for the past half a year, and his opponent did indeed have some skills. Ningxi saw the other party's aggressive attack, stood at the same place, the long spear in her hand as if it had a life of its own, spun in her palm, and then with a pung sound, it clashed with the other party's long spear. Sparks flew everywhere. It was only a short fight, but the martial arts actor instantly knew that she wasn't a show-off like Han Zixuan at all. She was the real deal, so he didn't dare to take her lightly anymore. In the beginning, the opponent was still thinking about how to make a fool of himself without being discovered. But in the end, he didn't have the mood to think about these twists and turns. He could only use all his strength to deal with the opponent's increasingly tricky moves. Damn it, this woman could actually use a beautiful spear. Guo Qixing had said that all the actions in the play were done by Ningxi herself. He didn't believe it at first, but now, all the fans below the stage, including the host, held their breaths and stared at the stage. They were so nervous that they could not bear to blink. It was as if the stage in front of them was not a dazzling stage, but a smoke-filled battlefield. It was not a performance, but a real battle of life and death. Finally, with a clang, the spear in the staff member's hand was knocked to the ground by the girl. In an instant, all the fans of the scene screamed excitedly and kept whistling. Roar! Ningxi is awesome. Amazing. It's so exciting. I'm so nervous that I'm sweating cold sweat. Looking at the reaction of the fans at the scene, Han Zixuan clenched her teeth, still smiling and applauding. Zheng Anru's expression, hidden in the shadows, was extremely ugly. Chapter 1843. What a useless thing. Trash. The professional stunt double she had hired with a high salary actually lost to a woman on the spot. After the staff received Zheng Anru's vicious gaze, his body suddenly trembled subconsciously. The next second, a trace of darkness flashed in the man's eyes. He suddenly lowered his hand to pick up the spear that had fallen at his feet and unexpectedly attacked the defenseless Ningxi. Swish! At this moment, the spear in Ningxi's hand flew out at lightning speed, brushed past the man's neck, and, after a loud bang, inserted into the wall behind the man. On the big screen, the spear cut through the hair beside the man's ear, and the spearhead sank into the wall, sticking straight there. The martial arts actor's body stiffened, and the expression of extreme fear on his face was magnified on the screen, forming a huge visual impact. After 3 seconds of silence, there was a burst of screams and whistles that almost broke the roof. "Thank you." Ningxi casually handed the spear in her hand to the staff beside her and slowly sat down again. She didn't wear a warm red dress, didn't have heroic makeup, and even wore a gentle cheongsam with her hair in a bun. But no one doubted that at that moment, the soul in her body was Meng Chang'e. Even if one day that person retired, even if one day that person's body decayed, she was still Meng Chang'e. Chang'e, Chang'e, Chang'e. The old fans at the scene shouted excitedly again and again, and their expressions were indescribably excited. "Ningxi, are you all right?" As soon as Ningxi came back, Su Tao asked nervously like an old mother. "I'm fine, Ning." She shook her head. There was a thin layer of sweat on her forehead, and her wrist was swollen and painful, but fortunately it was not a long time, so it was not a big deal. At this moment, looking at the reaction at the scene, Zheng Anru pinched her fingers tightly, and her face was ashen. It was over. It was irreversible. Originally, she was going to ruin Ningxi's image in the eyes of the fans, but it turned out that she could not be surpassed. This was simply digging a hole for herself. No, she could not let this happen. Once this impression was given to the fans, everything would be over. As expected of Senior, you're still a treasure blade. Our Zixuan is still young, but it looks like she's still too inexperienced. Zheng Anru put on a fake smile and applauded, but she deliberately emphasized the word old to highlight Han Zixuan's youth. In fact, Han Zixuan was only as old as Ningxi. As Zheng Anru said this, she glanced at the excited fans present with a faint smile, and then said slowly, "It's really a surprise that Senior Ningxi is here today, but it's more of an accident, isn't it? After all, Senior Ningxi retired a year ago. Your fans were very sad at that time. Today, after more than a year, Senior has suddenly appeared again. Don't you have anything to say to your fans?" Zheng Anru sneered. Her provocation was undoubtedly to arouse the hatred of the fans and the conflicts between Ningxi and the fans in the past year. Stupid fans, have you forgotten how heartless this woman was? How she disappeared without saying a word and irresponsibly? This kind of person, is it really worth it for you to continue to like him? Hearing Zheng Anru's words, the fans who had been cheering excitedly just now fell silent in an instant. Most of the fans here today were fans of Han Zixuan and Jiangmai. And some of the fans of Han Zixuan and Jiangmai were almost all die-hard fans of Ningxi on the stage. Ningxi sat there quietly and kept silent for a long time. Su Tao's heart suddenly tightened. What he was most worried about had happened. Chapter 1844. Seeing the reaction of the fans, Zheng Anru on the stage and Wang Haojuan behind the stage both breathed a sigh of relief. Zheng Anru is the best. Wang Haojuan looked very satisfied. The public relations director next to him sighed. After all, she is one of the people who knows Ningxi best. Of course, she knows where her weakness is. At this moment, the whole hall was still in dead silence. After a long time, the atmosphere became more and more depressing, like the calm before the storm. Just as a haze was brewing and spreading in the crowd like a plague, a woman's voice rang out. "I'm sorry to have made you worry and wait, for so long. The fans below the stage were silent. I have a lot to say, but I don't know how to say it. In the silent hall, the girl continued to speak. I will sing a song for you. The girl raised her head and smiled, but her eyes were full of sadness. Still no one spoke. She tilted her head and whispered a few words to Su Tao. Su Tao looked a little hesitant, then nodded and left backstage. Zheng Anru and the others didn't stop her. They all looked at her coldly. Hee, singing at this time? Was she trying to divert attention? What a joke. Did she want to change her career to be a singer? They didn't believe she could turn the world upside down. Even if she turned the world upside down, they had a way to turn the world upside down. Didn't she know whose show it was today? After a moment, with a dong, the whole stage suddenly darkened. Only a beam of light shone on the girl in the center of the stage in a white cheongsam. The girl narrowed her eyes and sat there quietly. The prelude of the music rang out. Thank you. The girl held the microphone and her eyes fell on all the fans below the stage. She continued to sing softly. For the glory you gave me, I want to bow deeply to you. Because the effort, some people can understand. The moment the girl's voice sounded, the fans below the stage suddenly narrowed their eyes. Thunderous applause, surging waves of emotions. This is the beginning, not the end. This is the beginning, not the end. What should I do in return? You seem to have a soft spot for me. With the girl's word by word, the big screen behind the girl suddenly lit up. A girl appeared on the big screen. The girl wore a bright red suit and smiled shyly as she signed several autographs for several fans. The girl said that this was the first time she signed autographs for fans. Thank you. Thank you for the glory you gave me. Used to be much more ordinary. You're the one who made me dream to the peak. The scene on the big screen changed. Shi, dressed in a handsome man's suit, was surrounded by a large group of enthusiastic fans with other members of the crew. The girl raised her eyebrows and slightly smiled. She said to the security guards, "Be gentle to my women." That minute in my heart. Too many feelings to describe. No matter how many twists and turns there are in the future, we will never relax. This proves that your choice is different from the rest. On the screen, the girl's face was full of tears as she walked alone in the heavy rain in the wild forest. Then there were behind-the-scenes footage. Because the girl was too tired, she directly lay on the ground, sleeping with her clothes on. Her face was so beautiful. This is our glory. I already know where I should go. The girl wore a bright red gown and stood on the podium of the Palme d'Or. Her eyes glistened with tears as she gave her acceptance speech. This is our glory. Ode to joy, for you, every one of you, is my great hero. Accompanied by the girl's hoarse and choked voice, the image on the screen stopped, and what appeared were the tear-stained faces of the audience. The girl who was quietly singing on the stage had long since burst into tears. Chapter 1845. And the girl who was singing quietly on the stage had already burst into tears. The music stopped and the lights were turned on. The girl got up and bowed deeply to all the people below the stage. Scenes of their memories with Shi, pairs of red eyes, tear-stained faces in the crowd. It was not known who first spoke, breaking the silence. Shifan is everywhere. Brother, she is irreplaceable. This familiar slogan of the loyal fans was earth-shattering, and in an instant, it ignited the fire buried in everyone's hearts. All of a sudden, like a tidal wave, everyone began to shout along with him. Shifan is everywhere. Brother, she is irreplaceable. Shifan is everywhere. Brother, she is irreplaceable. Shifan is everywhere. Brother, she is irreplaceable. On the seat, Xianxia, whose eyes were red from crying, suddenly stood up and took the lead to shout, "Remember your original intention. Accompany you to shine brightly." Instantly, hundreds of people responded to his call. Everyone began to shout, "Never forget your original intention. We will accompany you to shine brightly." Zhuang Rongguang, who was next to Zhuang Ke, wiped his tears and began to shout, "Without Shi, there is no world. Without Shi, there is no world. Without Shi, there is no world. Without Shi, there is no world." Even after Shi bowed and left the stage, The neat and uniform voice still echoed above the huge exhibition hall for a long time. The excited fans watched the girl leave. That was their idol, their faith, and their youth. Even if she had left, so what? We are still here. We will always be here. Below the stage, a round-faced girl lay on her best friend's shoulder and cried until she was out of breath. Her best friend patted her shoulder gently and comforted her. Okay, brother, she is back. I'm not crying about this. Then why are you crying? How could I be such a fool? How could I betray brother Shi and fall in love with Han Zixuan, that counterfeit? I don't deserve to be brother Shi's fan at all. Don't be sad. Anyway, there are so many people to be a fool with you. The round-faced girl burst into laughter and said with sparkling eyes, after some people appeared again, I realized what is irreplaceable. At this moment, Han Zixuan's face was pale, and Zheng Anru regretted letting Ningxi sing. The two hosts couldn't get a word in, and they couldn't save the situation no matter what. The investors in the seats were completely stunned. In the backstage, Wang Haojun looked at the fans who were still crying and shouting slogans crazily, and Han Zixuan's fans crazily shouting Ningxi's name. He was so angry that he almost fainted on the spot. He had spent so much money, invited so many guests and media, and created this venue. In the end, it became Ningxi's solo comeback show. The new version of Under the Heavens was crushed into dust, and the fans returned to Ningxi's embrace because of one song. He finally knew that Xianxia Entertainment was here to make trouble today, and it was a thorough smashing. The table had been smashed. The public relations director hid at the side, secretly looking at the excited fans outside, his face full of amazement. Sigh. He had originally thought that Han Zixuan was unsurpassable, but now that the main character had appeared, no matter how popular Han Zixuan was or how dazzling her appearance was, he actually felt that she was just so. How could a firefly compete with the sun and the moon? Chapter 1846. In the Arcade City. At this moment, countless passers-by were looking up at the live broadcast on the big screen. Like the audience in the live broadcast, their eyes were red and they couldn't help shouting slogans. In addition, there were restaurants, streets and alleys, companies and homes. Countless people watched the live broadcast. Countless fans saw Ningxi, heard her singing, and heard the chorus of cheers. After Ningxi left the venue, the live broadcast continued. Ningxi, are you going to make a comeback this time? Movie Queen Ning, it's been a year. Why did you choose to appear on such an occasion today? Is it just because you were invited by the organizer? You should know about Jiangmai, right? We have been waiting for Jiangmai's apology today. It is said that Jiangmai was the one who was supposed to attend. Why did it turn out to be you? Is it because Jiangmai refused to apologize, so Xianxia asked you to come? You are in the limelight today. Aren't you trying to steal the limelight? Haha, you put it so nicely. What do you mean by being invited? Don't tell me you're here to cause trouble. Movie Queen Ning, could you please answer us? As soon as Ningxi came out, she was immediately surrounded by the reporters. Facing a barrage of questions, Ningxi suddenly stopped and glanced at the reporter who suspected that she was here to cause trouble. The reporter's hair stood on end from her stare, and he unconsciously took a step back. Then he saw Ningxi slightly raise her eyebrows and then said quietly, "Who said, I'm not here to make trouble?" All the reporters, Jiangmai, who was lying on the wooden horse and watching the live broadcast attentively, puff, cough, cough, cough. The reporter, who deliberately wanted to embarrass Ningxi, was speechless when he saw Ningxi's calm look. He blushed and said, "You've gone too far. Do you think you can bully me just because you're a senior? Don't you know how bad Jiangmai's behavior is? How could you cover up for such a person? Goddess? You are just as bad as that scum. Did you record it?" Ningxi didn't answer, but asked Su Tao. Su Tao nodded and shook his phone. "Done. Actually, there's no need to record it. Someone is doing the live broadcast. Everyone can see it." The reporter panicked when he heard that. "I'm just telling the truth. Can't you even tell the truth these days?" Su Tao chuckled. "Whether it's the truth or a rumor, the lawyer will tell you later. Ningxi glanced at the reporters who kept asking questions and said flatly, I already know what happened to Senior Jiang. I also know that the organizer originally arranged for Senior Jiang to make a public apology. Yes, I also think he should make a public apology. Hearing Ningxi's words, the reporter thought she had admitted defeat and said smugly, Movie Queen Ning, it's too late to change your mind now. The next second, Ningxi's eyes sharpened and she suddenly changed the topic. However, the organizer should apologize to Senior Jiang. The moment Ningxi finished speaking, there was an uproar. What? Apologize to Jiang Mai? Was Ningxi crazy? There were also a large number of reporters muttering to themselves. Ningxi sounded so sure. Could it be that there was something hidden in this matter? After saying this, Ningxi ignored the reporters' crazy questions and got into the car under the escort of Su Tao and bodyguards without saying a word. In the arcade, Jiang Mai stared blankly at the live broadcast above his head, looking at the domineering look of the girl supporting him and the way she raised her eyebrows and said, Who said I'm not here to make a scene? His heart was full of unspeakable feelings. Chapter 1847. In the car, Su Tao was in a great mood. Ningxi, the song you sang on the spot just now was really great. Together with the video materials I brought with me, it was a tear-jerker. Even I'm crying like an idiot. That saves me a lot of trouble. I was thinking about how to explain it to the fans. Su Tao said, thinking of how Ningxi talked back to the reporter in public. He looked a little worried and said in a euphemistic tone, But, Ningxi, what you said to the reporter just now was not appropriate, right? Jiang Mai is a tricky case. I understand that you want to help Jiang Mai, but it's easy to get yourself into trouble if you speak so confidently in front of so many people. They will apologize. Ningxi said with certainty. After saying this, Ningxi picked up her cell phone and made a call. Su Tao looked at her curiously, wondering who she was going to call. It would be useless to ask anyone to help Jiang Mai, right? That photo was the irrefutable evidence. Unless Shin Mian came forward to clarify it in person. But how could that be possible? Shin Mian regarded that film as her lifeblood. It was also because of this that Jiang Mai hadn't said a word about it. Even if Ningxi was friends with Shin Mian, she might not be able to persuade him. Hello, Director Shen, long time no see? Hearing Ningxi's voice, Su Tao immediately thought that she was really looking for Shin Mian. You, Ningxi? At the other end of the phone, Shin Mian's voice sounded like she had seen a ghost. She couldn't even speak properly. Oh my God, I just saw the live broadcast. I thought I was hallucinating. You're really back? Damn, it's been a year and 3 months. I thought you went back to your alien planet. Oh, it's rare that Director Shin still remembers me, Ningxi said quietly. Shin Mian felt that Ningxi's tone was a little strange. She coughed slightly. Well, you call me for Jiang Mai. Ningxi went straight to the point and said Jiang Mai's name. Director Shen, aren't you being a little too unreasonable? Shin Mian's tone was a little embarrassed. Oh, I know Jiang Mai was really wronged. But I'm a victim too. I have been trembling with fear and kept it a secret. How could I have known that the script would be exposed? I don't know if they told you, but my film's subject matter is indeed very sensitive. It definitely won't be released domestically. I'm going to participate in the International Film Festival. You see, I'm secretly going through the process of submitting my application for approval. If I get exposed here, the higher-ups will immediately order me to be banned and won't allow me to participate in international exhibitions. Who am I going to cry to then? By then, this film will have been shot for nothing. So you're just going to watch Jiang Mai bear all the consequences? Shin Mian was in a dilemma. Ningxi, I know you feel sorry for Jiang Mai. I worked with that guy for so many years, and we're old acquaintances. This time, I'm really grateful to him for being so righteous. After I finish the process and confirm the qualification for the exhibition, I'll tell you immediately. Okay? It'll be too late by then. But this is the only way now. What else do you want me to do? Shin Mian sounded helpless. Clear everything up now. My dear, aren't you making things difficult for me? If you clear it up now, my film will be completely ruined. I'll compensate you if it's ruined. Okay, I'll do it right now. Shen changed her tone very quickly. Chapter 1848. Su Tao, who was standing next to them, heard their conversation and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, this Shen has no integrity at all. She changed her mind so quickly. She didn't expect Shen to change her mind so quickly. Looking at her phone, the corners of her mouth twitched slightly. Shi, you said you would pay me a movie. I've already booked you as the female lead in my next movie. If I can't do it, I can book you as the male lead. You can't go back on your word. Shen had been acting pitiful just now, but now she sounded like she couldn't wait for the movie to be ruined. She laughed. Got it. I've never gone back on my word. Ha! Okay, then I'll send it now. Just you wait. Shen replied with a smile. Su Tao, who was watching from the side, was completely unprepared. That's it. Amazing, my queen. TSK, but Shen got lucky. This is your first movie after your comeback, and you're giving it to him just like that. Let me tell you, after Shen finished your Dreamseeker, although the two movies she made were not bad, they couldn't be compared to Dreamseeker. I think she was a little impatient because people kept saying that she couldn't surpass Dreamseeker. She actually took the risk and asked Han Zixuan to make a movie that she knew would be banned in China. She wanted to win an international award. Su Tao couldn't help but complain. At the same time, the International Convention and Exhibition Center was empty. Wang Haojuan, Zheng Anru, Han Zixuan, and a group of investors stared at each other backstage. The atmosphere was hazy. At this moment, besides Han Zixuan, the most embarrassed person at the scene was the well-dressed deputy general manager of Starlight Entertainment. Ning Shui tonight was an opportunity that she had been waiting for a long time. She wanted to appear at the finale and take the opportunity to clear her name. She even took the opportunity to invite the original cast as guests to attend. She didn't expect that Ning Shi, who had disappeared for so long, would appear without warning like a ticking time bomb and explode in her world. Originally, with Ning Shi's retirement, her past had been forgotten. With the success of her career, she even gradually began to walk the path of an inspirational goddess. Her identity as an adopted daughter was no longer criticized by others. Instead, she was pitted and understood by some people at the bottom. However, as soon as Ning Shi appeared in front of everyone, the things that she hated the most and didn't want others to know about all came to the surface again. As long as Ning Shi was still alive, everyone would firmly remember that Ning Shi was the real daughter of a rich family, while she was just a fake who had occupied the nest. Even if she had everything now, she could not get rid of this damned shadow. Why didn't you investigate when Golden Era agreed? No matter how shrewd Ning Xiuo was, she was already frustrated and her blood was boiling. I'm asking you, why didn't you investigate clearly? Wang Haojuan scolded angrily. The public relations director had a bitter look on his face. I've asked, and they said that they would definitely give us an explanation. How could I have known that Golden Era would do this? I never would have thought that Ning Shi would show up. In their eyes, Golden Era was merely a remnant that was struggling at death's door. In fact, everyone did not even take Golden Era seriously. That was why they had let their guard down and caused such a huge mess. The PR director continued. Besides, judging from Ning Shi's answer to those reporters, they clearly planned this to make trouble on purpose. Chapter 1849. Of course. Do I need you to tell me that? Wang Haojuan was furious. His company had been destroyed, and he had made a wedding dress for someone else. At this moment, one of the investors who had been whispering to each other stood up and said, Ahem. Actually, judging from what happened today, we can still adjust the cast of this movie. Zheng Anru's expression changed. What do you mean, Mr. Qian? Mr. Qian, who had a beer belly, smiled and said, You've seen Ning Shi's popularity today. We've invested so much money in this movie, so of course we want to get the biggest return. Don't you think so? Of course Zheng Anru knew what he was implying. She said angrily, Zixuan has already signed the contract. Do you still want to replace her? Replace her with a has-been actress who has been in seclusion for so long? Mr. Qian, Mr. Li, Mr. Chui, you don't know much about the entertainment industry, so you were deceived by what happened tonight. Ning Shi only appeared because she hasn't been seen for a long time, so it's inevitable that her fans will be excited. Do you really think she can do it if we really let her take on the responsibility? She has no resources, no connections, and is still in golden era. How can she compete with Zixuan? She doesn't even have the right to carry Zixuan's shoes. After Zheng Anru's speech, Mr. Qian and the other investors looked at each other and hesitated. Wang Haojuan quickly took the opportunity to speak. Everyone, please calm down. Manager Zheng was the most outstanding gold medal manager in the industry. Her words would never be wrong. We, Starlight, have invested the most this time. We won't cheat ourselves. At this time, a well-dressed middle-aged man next to him said angrily, "Don't think we don't know anything. It's easy to fool people with money." Even if Ning Shi is completely unpopular now, her appearance today has completely ruined everything we've been building up for a long time. The movie The World will never be surpassed in the hearts of the audience. No matter how much money we throw at it, it's useless. We can't even surpass the original version. So how can we surpass Nine Heavens? Are you dreaming? Why? Because of your so-called popularity queen, Han Zixuan? Han Zixuan can't even control her own fans? Tonight, Han Zixuan's fans changed sides one after another, which undoubtedly gave Han Zixuan a heavy slap in the face. At this moment, Han Zixuan was so angry that her whole body trembled when the investor pointed at her nose and scolded her. Ever since she became popular, she had been chased and flattered wherever she went. When had she ever suffered this kind of vexation? Just when Han Zixuan was about to lose control of her emotions, Ning Xiluo said, "Manager Li, you're wrong. You should know that not all of the fans here tonight are Zixuan's fans. At least half of them are die-hard fans of Jiangmai." With such a huge commotion tonight, is it real, or is it deliberately arranged and instigated by someone to achieve an ulterior motive, or even to snatch a role? Boss Lee is very familiar with the entertainment industry, so I'm sure you also know the twists and turns in this, right? When Director Lee heard Ning Xiluo's words, he frowned slightly. It was true that he could not guarantee the authenticity of her words, but based on his intuition, he did not think that the situation tonight could be faked. After all, even a bystander like him was moved and convinced by Ning Shi. Chapter 1850. Wang Haojuan and Ning Xiluo finally managed to appease the investors, but something happened on the other side. The director of public relations, Lu Wenliang, ran over with his phone, sweating profusely. "Mr. Wang." "Mr. Ning, what now?" Wang Haojuan asked impatiently. Ning Xiluo, Han Zixuan, and Zheng Anru frowned and looked at him when they saw his panicked expression. Under everyone's gaze, Lu Wenliang's pale face twisted. He swallowed and said with great difficulty, Shun what?" Wang Haojuan cursed. "Shen Mian?" Lu Wenliang finally said the name. He stole a glance at Han Zixuan and Zheng Anru before saying, "Shen Mian just posted on Weibo to clarify that the photo of Zixuan and Jiangmai kissing was a still photo." "What did you say?" "That's impossible." Zheng Anru's expression changed. Lu Wenliang said bitterly, "It's true. Shen Mian even released a detailed video to prove it." "Is Shen Mian crazy? Does he know what he's doing?" Zheng Anru screamed in disbelief. Han Zixuan's expression changed completely, but she said firmly, "There must be some misunderstanding. Director Shen would never do that." Shen Mian was definitely the one who didn't want this incident to be exposed the most. That was why they leaked the photo without hesitation. Han Zixuan quickly took out her phone and opened Shen Mian's Weibo. The next second, she saw Shen Mian's Weibo post at the top of the post. "Let me clarify something here. This photo is a still from my new movie, Canto Chaos, which I filmed not long ago. It was taken from a fake location. Because of my selfishness, I didn't come forward to explain it to you, even though I knew the truth. I'm deeply sorry that innocent people were affected and implicated." Below the post was a detailed comparison of the stills and the content of the movie, including some sensitive content. Han Zixuan was stunned. Shen Mian was indeed crazy, and he was quite crazy. Zheng Anru's face darkened and she said sternly, "We can't let this go. What's wrong with Shen Mian? Even if he goes crazy, he can't drag Zixuan down with him. Doesn't he know how important this movie is to Zixuan?" At this critical juncture, he actually exposed the movie on his own, and he even made it known to everyone. "Are you afraid that the higher-ups won't ban you?" Lu Wenliang coughed and said, "I don't think it's that simple. Shen Mian wouldn't do this for no reason." "Nonsense. Do I need you to tell me that? It must be Golden Era's doing." Wang Haojuan roared. Lu Wenliang frowned. But with Golden Era's current strength, how could they convince Shen Mian to make such a huge sacrifice for Jiangmai? Ningxi. At this time, Ning Shulua said a name with gloomy eyes. Although Zheng Anru hated Ningxi, she didn't agree with Ning Shulua's words. How can Ningxi be so important? Vice President Ning, you think too highly of her. Wang Haojuan was overwhelmed. All right, stop talking nonsense. The problem now is how to solve the problem. Lu Wenliang, I'm asking you a question. You've caused so many problems one after another. What are you doing as a public relations director? No wonder people always say that you'll always be second to Liang Feixing. Chapter 1851. Lu Wenliang's face darkened. He was furious after being criticized for the whole day. What the fuck does it have to do with me? Liang Feixing is awesome. Go and poach her if you can. CEO Wang. If Zheng Anru hadn't taken the initiative to leak the stills without telling me, and even promised me that there wouldn't be any problems, would things have gotten to this point today? Since when did she put him, the director of public relations, in her eyes? Now that something has happened to her, what can I do? Lu Wenliang, what do you mean by that? It's because you can't keep up with Zixuan's publicity, so we have to find a way ourselves. You didn't say anything when you saw the effect was so good. You've already done it. What the fuck can I say? I told you that this kind of intensive publicity will make the fans feel disgusted, so we have to keep a distance and maintain a sense of mystery. Did you listen to me? I brought Zixuan up. Do I need you to teach me how to do things? What the fuck do you know about publicity? Just as Starlight was being torn apart at the same time in Xianxia Entertainment. A group of interns and artists who had nothing to do in the company had just finished watching the live broadcast of the world. They were so excited that they were about to jump up and down. Whether it was those who were close to Ningxi or those who disliked him in the past, they were all excited when they saw Ningxi. If Ningxi's comeback could save Xianxia, then they could be saved too. Oh my god, Brother Xi. It's really my brother Xi. Brother Xi is back. Doesn't that mean Xianxia can be saved? That might not be the case. Xianxia is different from the past. Besides, Brother Xi has been in seclusion for a year. So what? Brother Xi had a great time smashing things up today. He completely crushed Han Zixuan. It's just a matter of time now. Just as the group of young artistes were discussing excitedly, someone suddenly stared blankly ahead and exclaimed in surprise. Then, everyone saw Su Tao eagerly leading a person into the company. The person beside Su Tao was actually the person they were talking about. Brother Xi, we missed you so much. Where have you been for the past year? Brother Xi, you're really back. Brother Xi, has your agent become Brother Tao? Ningxi looked at those unfamiliar and familiar faces, smiled and greeted them one by one, answering everyone's questions. Yes, Brother Tao is indeed my manager now. Holy shit, it can't be. Brother Xi, you have to think about it carefully. What if he gets led astray? The people around looked at Su Tao and sighed. However, their tone was full of ridicule and there was no malice. The corner of Su Tao's mouth twitched. Hey, you bunch of brats. What nonsense are you spouting in front of my queen? Are you trying to rebel? The crowd roared with laughter. Just when Ningxi was surrounded by everyone's enthusiasm, a person suddenly rushed in from the crowd. Then, without saying anything, he dragged Ningxi away like a robber. Brother Xi, who is this? How did this happen? Stop him. Ahem, it's nothing, it's Senior Jiang. Su Tao's foot was about to kick that person. Ning Shi, who was swept away, hurriedly turned back and explained. Everyone, Su Tao, the missing person whom Lei Ming had knelt down and cried for his father, had returned. Chapter 1852. In the deserted corridor, the two of them stared at each other. In the end, Ning Shi looked at Jiang Mai, who was like a big man scratching his feet. She chuckled and said, "Tut, time is really a butcher's knife." Looking at the girl's bright smile, Jiang Mai's heart beat like a drum. All the blood in his body seemed to rush to his brain. He was stunned. He hadn't seen her since Ning Shi fell into a coma, and he saw her in the military sanatorium. It had been a year. The girl in front of him suddenly reminded him of the first time he saw her in China. It was the feeling of first love again. Jiang Mai rubbed his messy hair irritably and pressed his wildly beating heart. Why is it beating so fast? What a loser. After calming down, Jiang Mai gnashed his teeth and said, "Ning Xiaoxi, you bastard! Who are you calling a pig? I've been handsome for too long, and I want to experience the feelings of you mortals. Can't I?" Ning Shi held back her laughter and nodded. "Senior Jiang, you're really outstanding." Jiang Mai was dazzled by the girl's smile. He cursed in a low voice and looked away. When did you wake up?" Ning," she hesitated. She coughed and answered, "Well, I've been awake for a while." Hearing this, Jiang Mai was furious. "Damn it, you've been awake for a while, and you didn't tell me? Ning Xiaoxi, do you think I'm your brother?" Ning Shi chuckled. "If I told you earlier, you wouldn't be so surprised to see me." "Surprise my ass." Jiang Mai was so scared that he almost fell on the ground when he saw him on TV. "Besides, I don't think of you as my brother, but I do think of you as my nephew." Jiang Mai's face darkened. "Nephew my ass." Jiang Mai seemed to have thought of something and suddenly fell silent for a moment. After a while, he said, "I saw the live broadcast and Shun Mian's Weibo." Jiang Mai looked a little annoyed. "I don't need a woman to clean up the mess for me. What did you promise Shun Mian, that old fox?" "Ning," she said carelessly, "I just promised him a show." Jiang Mai's face changed. "Damn it, no wonder. This old fox is robbing us. I was the one who suggested it. After all, I still have to film after my comeback. I had a good time working with director Shun." Hearing Ning Shi's explanation, Jiang Mai still didn't look too good. Ning Shi smiled and said, "Senior Jiang, when I first entered this industry, I know that although you didn't say it and always made trouble for me, in fact, you helped me a lot in secret. And this time, you did it because of me. Let me pay you back, Senior Jiang." Jiang Mai blushed and turned his head away awkwardly. "Scoundrel, why are you being so sentimental? I'm getting goosebumps." After saying that, Jiang Mai murmured suspiciously, How do you know those photos are fake? Lei Ming told you?" Ning Shi raised her eyebrows. "Do I need Brother Lei to tell me this? Then how did you know?" After all, the evidence was irrefutable. Even a large number of his fans left him after seeing the photos. Ning Shi spread out her hands. "I think, although you have no integrity, you are not that desperate." Jiang Mai, who has no integrity. Chapter 1853. While Jiang Mai and Ning Shi were talking, a tall and strong figure suddenly rushed over at the speed of light. "My God, you're finally back. Oh my God, how did you end up like this? If your fans see this..." Lei Ming looked at Jiang Mai's miserable appearance and felt very distressed. "You make a living with your face, my God. What if they saw it?" Jiang Mai narrowed his eyes and said threateningly, "Ahem, I'll still love you if they saw it." Lei Ming quickly corrected himself. Then, Lei Ming immediately said to Jiang Mai joyfully, Have you seen Weibo? Shun Mian publicly clarified the truth for you. Now the internet is in an uproar. Everyone is apologizing to you and praising you for being a man. Your fans are blaming themselves and crying bitterly because they misunderstood you. Their hearts are broken because of the grievances you have suffered. And what's more, Director Liang arranged professional internet water army to guide the public opinion. Now all the spearhead is aimed at Han Zixuan. Aimed at her. Jiang Mai raised his eyebrows. Yes, think about it. Shun Mian covered up the photos so tightly. Who was the one who leaked the photos? Ning Shi said, Of course it's the one who benefited the most. Yes. Isn't it Han Zixuan who benefited the most? Lei Ming said. Jiang Mai snorted. Will the fans believe it? That woman is not good at acting, but she is good at deceiving her fans. Lei Ming said confidently. With director Liang behind the scenes, they have to believe it. Anyway, as long as someone suspects it, it's enough. Most importantly, Han Zixuan was definitely involved in this matter. After all, she was the main lead of this movie and one of the insiders. Yet, for her own benefit, she didn't say anything even though she knew the truth. She allowed everyone to misunderstand your relationship and even allowed the organizers to ask you to publicly apologize to her. This was completely a problem with her character. She was simply shameless. At least the scandal between you two can be cleared up. Hearing the result of the thing he cared about the most, Jiang Mai's face became much better. Lei Ming quietly whispered in their ears, "It's not over yet. I just got the latest news." Shen Mian's Weibo post has garnered a lot of attention. His superiors have invited him to have tea with them. There's an 80% chance that the film will fail. Han Zixuan has reaped what she sowed this time. Ning Shi, thank you so much this time. Lei Ming thanked her with tears in his eyes. He almost put Ning Shi on a pedestal. He thought he was definitely going to die this time. He didn't expect that after Ning Shi came out, all the life-threatening problems were solved in just a few hours. Ning Shi glanced at Jiang Mai with a faint smile and then turned to Lei Ming. "Brother Ming, you're welcome. We're family." Lei Ming thought Ning Shi meant that they were all from the same company, so he hurriedly echoed, Yes, we're all family." Jiang Mai, "Muyi, although the fans love you, ahem. I think you should take a bath first. I'll go to Director Liang's place first to discuss the following matters with him." After Lei Ming finished speaking, he ran away excitedly. Strike the iron while it's hot. In the past, Jiang Mai's image was too frivolous and immature. This incident was very beneficial to his transformation. Nowadays, there were more and more young men. At Jiang Mai's current age, he should have changed. He couldn't help but admire Ning Shi's good luck again. "Who's family with you?" As soon as Lei Ming left, Jiang Mai immediately argued with Ning Shi with a dark face. Ning Shi proudly took out the wedding ring on her neck and said word by word, "Be a good boy and call me aunt." Chapter 1854. Seeing that ring, Jiang Mai's blood was stuck in his throat. The fact that this scoundrel had repeatedly told him that he would never become his aunt was still fresh in his mind. As a result, he couldn't bear to look back on the past. After Ning Shi finished showing off, she carefully put the ring back and said in the tone of an elder, "Forget it, nephew. I'll give you some time to adapt." Jiang Mai was speechless. Adapt my ass. At the same time, in the Su family's house, Ning Xiuo had been in a meeting for the whole night and had contacted people everywhere. When she got home from the company, her luxurious dress was all wrinkled. Today was supposed to be her most perfect day. It was supposed to be her final victory. But now, in the short span of one night, everything that was originally perfect and smooth to the point of perfection was beginning to crumble. It was a terrible feeling. Ning Shi, Ning Shi, Ning Shi. This nightmarish name appeared again. "Shuelo, why you're back?" Zhang Minjun, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, saw Ning Shuelo and walked over with a smile. "Mom, you're not asleep yet?" Ning Shuelo forced herself to greet her. "I was worried and waited for you to come back." Zhang Minjun frowned when she saw Ning Shuelo's expression. "Why you look so pale? Don't you have an important social event today? Is there something wrong?" "Mom, I'm fine. I'm just a little tired." "Sit down and have a rest. I've asked the kitchen to make some chicken soup. I'll ask the servant to get you a bowl," Zhang Minjun said with concern. Zhang Minjun's relationship with Ning Xiuo had been stiff after the fact that she was an adopted daughter was exposed. However, Zhang Minjun's attitude towards Ning Xiuo naturally changed after Ning Shi's disappearance. She even treated Ning Xiuo better than before. It was not an exaggeration to say that Zhang Minjun was obedient to Ning Xiuo. Zhao Shanshan walked downstairs leisurely when she saw how attentive Zhang Minjun was to Ning Xiuo. She had a sarcastic expression on her face and said in a good mood, "Hee, tired? I think she's mentally tired. After all, the real Phoenix Ning, she is back. Her dream of flying up the tree branch is shattered again." Over the past year, Ning Shuo had been doing better and better, gaining the favor of her parents-in-law. She and Su Sun had been suppressed to the point where they didn't even have the time to breathe. They had to take a detour whenever they saw Ning Shuo. But now Ningxi was back. This was simply the best news in the world. What? Ningxi is back. Zheng Minjun's expression changed when she heard this. Ning Shuo glared at Zhao Xianxia sinisterly and frowned. As soon as that bitch Ning, she came back, even Zhao Xianxia dared to talk to her like this. Zheng Minjun knew that after Ningxi came back, she might have some thoughts that she shouldn't have. Zheng Minjun quickly came back to her senses. She ordered the servants to bring chicken soup to the kitchen, as she said. So what if he's back? What's there to fuss about? She's a kept woman. After analyzing the pros and cons, she would not offend Ning Shuo for Ningxi. Zhao Xianxia panicked when she saw Zheng Minjun's attitude. Mom, what kept woman? Those are all rumors. Ningxi is the granddaughter of the Zhuang family. How could she do such a thing? Chapter 1855. Zheng Minjun didn't take it seriously. Flies don't bite seamless eggs. How could there be such a rumor if there wasn't something between them? Tell me, why did she disappear for so long? Zheng Minjun sounded very sure. She had inquired about it, and even had photos as proof. She was sure that Ningxi had no contact with the Zhuang family in the past year. If Ningxi really had something to do with the Zhuang family, how could she be willing to be a sugar daddy? Sure enough, the Zhuang family didn't even acknowledge Zhuang Lingyu, let alone Ningxi. Seeing Zheng Minjun's disbelief, Zhao Xianxia stamped her feet in anger. Damn it, Zheng Minjun had been completely brainwashed by Ning Shuo. Ning Shuo looked at Zhao Xianxia's exasperated expression, and her lips curled into a smile. Trying to sow discord? That was easy. She had completely convinced Zheng Minjun that Ning, she was a sugar daddy and had nothing to do with the Zhuang family. She had said that even if Ning she came back, nothing would change. Everything would still belong to her. As for those small disturbances, although they did annoy her, it only took her a little effort to suppress them. How could the current Xianxia entertainment go against her? No matter what Zhao Xianxia said, Zheng Minjun had completely ignored her. She took the chicken soup from the servant, walked to Ning Shuo, and comforted her lovingly. Shuo, don't be affected by those unlucky people. Come on, drink the chicken soup. You need to nourish your body. I'm still waiting to hold a fat grandson. Thank you, Mom. Ning Shuo looked touched, but she sneered in her heart. They had been married for more than a year, and she still couldn't get pregnant. If she hadn't been in charge of the Ning Corporation's finance, and if history and Starlight weren't thriving, Zheng Minjun wouldn't have been nice to her. By the way, Ning Shuo took out a red invitation card from her bag and handed it to Zheng Minjun. Mom, are you free tomorrow? I got the invitation from Tianquan Manor. Let's go and meet Mrs. Li if you're free. Really? Zheng Minjun was overjoyed at the unexpected good news as she received it. Recently, it was known that Minister Li and Madam are coming to the capital. How many high-ranking officials and noble families are trying to find a way to meet them? Shueluo, how did you get it? It's nothing. I just relied on my connections, Ning Shuo replied. Zheng Minjun grinned from ear to ear. My daughter-in-law is indeed capable. The day before yesterday, even Madame Qiao complained to me that she couldn't get an invitation. Every day, she would brag to me that her brother was some high-ranking official in the province, but I couldn't do anything about it. Zhao Xianxia stood at the side. As a daughter-in-law, when she heard Zheng Minjun say that her daughter-in-law was capable, she felt as though she was slapping herself in the face. That's right, Ning Shueluo's daughter-in-law was capable, but she was just a useless trash. What made you so happy? At this time, Su Hongguang also walked out of the house. Zheng Minjun immediately took the invitation letter and went to show off. Hongguang, Shueluo got department head Li's wife's invitation letter. Really? Su Hongguang's face was also full of surprise. If we can build a relationship with Department Headley, it will be of great benefit to our E-Phone Corporation. Any random project in a country would be a huge project worth billions of dollars. That's right. Luo is indeed capable. Now in the entire capital, who doesn't envy our family for having such a capable daughter-in-law? Zheng Minjun said with a proud face. Luo, it's been hard on you. Su Hongguang's face was also full of gratification. Zhao Xianxia saw that her father-in-law and mother-in-law were all surrounding Ning Luo. Her face was extremely ugly, and she was so angry that she turned around and left. Chapter 1856. The next morning, Dear Town. When Ning woke up naturally, there was no one beside her bed. However, there was a tempting fragrance of millet porridge coming from downstairs. Although she had officially come back, she was not that busy. Jiang Mai's matter had been solved, so there was no need to worry about the rest. You're awake. Come and have breakfast. Lu Tingxiao had prepared breakfast, as usual. Under the morning light, the way the man asked her to eat with an apron made her excited. Although she was good at cooking, she cooked less and less when she was with Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao's cooking skills were getting better and better, even improving by leaps and bounds. Especially after she woke up, she almost never entered the kitchen. Xiao Bao carefully picked up the bowl of porridge and walked to her. Mom, Xiao Bao will feed you. Ning quickly said, Thank you, Xiao Bao. Mom can eat by herself. But Mom's hand is injured. Xiao Bao looked at Ning Shi's wrist, which was still red and swollen. Speaking of this, Ning glanced at Lu Tingxiao guiltily. What she didn't know was that she had only casually performed a few tricks on the stage last night. She really didn't feel anything on the spot, but when she came back at night, her wrist was actually swollen. Fortunately, it was not a serious problem, but she was still taught a lesson by the father and son. Okay, thank you, Xiao Bao. Ning didn't dare to say anything and cooperated obediently. It was the weekend. After breakfast, Ning was playing with Xiao Bao when a guest suddenly came to the door. Seeing the guest, Ning, she was surprised. Madame Zhuang, why are you here? Meng Linlang looked at the girl in front of her, her face full of love and concern. I came to see you. I wanted to come for a long time, but I was afraid to disturb you. No, Madame Zhuang, please come in. Ning said quickly. Hearing Ning call her Madame Zhuang again, Meng Linlang looked dissatisfied and said angrily, Xiaoxi, what did you call me just now? Ning was at a loss. She had already learned from Lu Tingxiao that the Zhuang family wanted to recognize her, but she was not used to it. It was fine with Zhuang, Ku'er, and Zhuang Rongwang. Anyway, they were friends, but it seemed a little awkward when it came to elders. She was used to being alone and didn't really know how to get along with elders. Just when Ning didn't know what to do, a crisp voice came from behind. Great aunt. When Meng Linlang saw the cute little guy behind Ning, she couldn't keep pretending to be angry anymore. She squatted down and hugged the little guy with a smile. Hey, Xiaobai, you're such a good boy. Although she didn't really like Lu Tingxiao's illegitimate son at first, because she was angry at him, she couldn't help but like him more and more as they got to know each other. At the same time, she heard a man's deep voice. Auntie. Ning looked at Xiao Bao and then at Lu Tingxiao. She was dumbfounded. The two of you changed your tune a little too fast. However, seeing how natural they were, she guessed that they had been doing this since she was unconscious. Damn it. Since Big Steam Bun and Little Steam Bun had changed sides, Ning couldn't be pretentious anymore. She could only call out to Lu Tingxiao, Aunt. Good. Meng Linlang was finally satisfied. Chapter 1857. After entering the room, Meng Linlang and Lu Tingxiao chatted happily. Ning couldn't help sighing with emotion. Tut, a sweet talker could win the favor of the elders. Look at her sweetheart. She was so obedient that she could call her aunt whenever she wanted. Unlike some people, she hadn't even heard her call her aunt until now. After chatting for a while, Meng Linlang called Ning aside to talk to her. Meng Linlang immediately became serious, took Ning hand, and asked seriously, Cici, Let me ask you, how do Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan treat you? Now, she didn't have to worry about Lu Tingxiao, but she was still worried about the Lu family. After all, Cici had married Lu Tingxiao. After the marriage, it was no longer just a matter between the two of them. Cici would have to face the whole Lu family in the future. If Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan still treated her like before, how could she live in the Lu family? Cici had finally escaped from death, and she would never allow her to be wronged again. They are very nice to me. Ning, she hurriedly replied. Meng Linlang looked a little doubtful. Really? Don't speak up for them. Ning, she said helplessly. It's true. They specially called me to the old mansion and had a long talk with me. They even apologized to me and have been very nice to me since then. Meng Linlang saw that Ning, she didn't seem to be lying, so she was a little relieved and snorted. That's good. The Lu family still has some conscience. Ning, she nodded repeatedly. Yes, Aunt, don't worry. Meng Linlong's heart almost melted when she heard the girl's sweet words. She asked lovingly, Cici, what are your plans for the future? Work or family? Ning, she thought for a moment. I've thought about this before. Originally, after I woke up this time, I was going to retire. I want to spend more time with Ting Xiao and Xiao Bao. I've always been busy with work and haven't had much time to spend with them. Ting Xiao has always supported me and allowed me to do whatever I wanted. Meng Linlang nodded understandingly. What happened then? I heard from Ku, and Rongwang that you're going to come back? Yes. Ning, she said, because something happened later and it was all because of me. Now the most difficult thing has been solved. Although I'm going to make a comeback, I won't work as hard as before. I can take care of both my work and my family. Meng Linlang nodded in agreement. That's good too. Actually, I don't agree with you completely retiring. Women should have their own careers. Meng Linlang then asked the question that concerned her the most. When is your wedding with Lu Tingxiao? When would their relationship be made public? Xiaoxi, don't blame me for meddling too much. Although it was a special situation before, you two got married too hastily. Marriage is a big event for a woman's life. Ning, she blushed. In fact, Lu Tingxiao proposed to me not long after I met him, but he didn't announce it until now because of my career. But it's different now. When I first debuted, my fan base wasn't stable. My marriage had a huge impact on my career. Now, when my comeback plan is almost completed, I can't announce the news of my marriage. It shouldn't be too long. I also want to be with him openly. After all, her sweetheart had been waiting for this title for a long time. Chapter 1858. Meng Linlang heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that Ning, she had a plan for everything. It's good that you know what to do. Anyway, if you feel wronged, unhappy, or bullied, you must tell Annie immediately. We don't have to give in to the Lu family. If you're unhappy, you can just go home. Go home. Ning, she couldn't describe how she felt when she heard that word. Ning Shi's heart was filled with warmth when she saw how protective Meng Linlang was. Got it, Andy. I'll remember it. Good girl. Meng Linlang patted the back of the girl's hand with a smile. Meng Linlang suddenly thought of something, and she happily said, I have a close friend who came to the capital recently, and I've mentioned you to her before. She's always wanted to meet you, and it just so happens that this is a good opportunity, so I'll take you to see her tonight. Ning, she was a little troubled. Meet your close friend? Meng Linlang saw that she was troubled and quickly explained, Don't be shy. She's a very good friend of mine. You have to think more about yourself. You're the mistress of the Lu family now, and you'll have to face the entire family in the future. It'll be good for you to interact more with these people. Otherwise, how are you going to control those clansmen who are full of twists and turns? Meng Linlong's heart ached when she saw that the girl didn't seem to have thought about this. Your mother should be the one to teach you and remind you about these things. But forget it. That blind and lame person. Let's not talk about it. If you trust Auntie, then listen to Auntie. Auntie will never harm you. Ning, she didn't expect Meng Linlang to consider so much for her and was instantly touched. How could she reject her good intentions? She nodded hurriedly. How can I not trust Auntie? I understand, Auntie. I'll go. Meng Linlang looked gratified. Then I won't disturb the three of you anymore. I'll come and pick you up tonight. Auntie, I'll send you off. Xiaobao moved over reluctantly when he saw that Meng Linlang was about to leave. Auntie, are you leaving? Yes. Auntie is leaving. I'll come and visit Xiaobao next time. Then Annie must come earlier. Okay. Meng Linlang was very happy, even if Xiaoxi didn't get hurt because of Xiaobao. In fact, she was still very dissatisfied with Xiaobao's existence at the beginning. After all, for Meng Linlang, who was born in a military family, to have a son before getting married, this was completely unacceptable. Therefore, when the old man suddenly wanted to take Xiaobao to the military sanatorium at the hospital, not only could her husband not accept it, but she was also very dissatisfied. However, later on, because Xiaobao was really too obedient and sensible, it made people's hearts ache for him. Only then did they gradually change their opinions. Her husband was a straightforward person, so he didn't think too much about it. However, when she thought about it, she felt that something was wrong. The old man was a smart man. What exactly did Lu Tingxiao say to him in the hospital that made him accept Xiaobao's existence and treat him so well? Combining Xiaobao and Ning Shi's intimate appearance, she had a vague guess in her heart, but she didn't dare to confirm it. Since the old man didn't tell them, he must have his reasons, so she didn't dare to rashly investigate the truth. But she felt a little strange. If it was really as she guessed, why didn't Xiaoxi know it herself? Chapter 1859. What did Annie say? Lu Tingxiao asked after Meng Linlang left. Now, even when Lu Tingxiao was expressionless, Ning Shi could guess what he was thinking from his subtle expressions. At this moment, Ning Shi suddenly realized that his question was not that simple. So she jumped over and pacified him. Don't worry, I'm not trying to poach you. Auntie is so happy because of you and Xiaobao. Annie asked me how Mom and Dad treat me, and I said yes. She also asked me, when will we hold our wedding? When will we announce our relationship? Lu Tingxiao raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Ning Shi clung to him. I said soon. With my current situation, I'm just missing a suitable opportunity. Lu Tingxiao smiled. Thank you, madam. Ning Shi coughed guiltily. You're welcome. I swear it's true this time. Oh yes. I'm going to meet a friend of Auntie's with her tonight. Auntie said I should get in touch with these people. Auntie is right. She treats you sincerely. In the evening, Meng Linlang came to pick up Ning Shi. Her eyes lit up when she saw the little dress Ning Shi was wearing. Xiaoxi, you look very nice in this dress. Ning Shi breathed a sigh of relief. Really? I was worried that it would be too plain. Meng Linlang shook her head. No, it's very nice. I don't know what's going on in the capital these days. Flowery styles are popular, and people say that's the real Chinese style. That kind of style is beautiful, but if you look at it too much, your eyes will be dazzled and you'll get tired of it. The white dress you're wearing is really eye-catching. It's so refreshing. In particular, her niece's appearance was outstanding. This simple dress really made her look like a fairy that had walked out of a painting. If my designer hears your comment, he will be very happy. Ning Shi said happily. Is this also your brand? Meng Linlang asked. She remembered that Kaer liked this brand very much. Yes, but because the designer encountered a bottleneck some time ago, the company's situation is not very good. The clothes I'm wearing are the latest works of my designer, and the theme of the collection is returning to nature, Ning Shi replied. Meng Linlang had also done some research on clothes and jewelry, so she gave an appreciative analysis. What a good return to simplicity. Your designer is indeed not bad. While others are still using all kinds of colors and extravagant decorations, he has already jumped out of the frame and reached a new level. If that designer of yours is free, can he also customize one for me? Ning Shi hurriedly said, Of course, as long as you don't mind. Soon, the car arrived at the destination. Meng Linlang was wearing a noble and elegant pale pink cheongsam. Her real age couldn't be seen because of her well-maintained appearance. Ning Shi was beside her. They didn't look like elders and juniors, but more like sisters. Xiaoxi, Mrs. Liu and I grew up together in the military compound and were very close. When we meet later, don't be shy. Just treat us as family. Yes, I know, Aunt. Ningxi nodded obediently. Ningxi knew her aunt's feelings for her, and she already knew why Meng Linlang brought her here. After a few steps, they arrived at the Sky Spring Villa. The villa was located in a very secluded and beautiful environment. There was a natural spring in front of them, and the breeze was blowing. It was very pleasant. Chapter 1860. This Sky Spring Villa was a high-class private club. It was a gathering place for dignitaries and was open for a limited time. The villa had been renovated a few years ago, but it still looked ancient, and the artistic conception hadn't been destroyed at all. When Meng Linlang walked to the entrance of the villa with Ning Shi, her cell phone rang. Meng Linlang glanced at the caller ID and said to Ning Shi, "Xiaoxi, I have an important call. Wait here for me." "It's okay. Aunt, go ahead." Ning Shi understood. Meng Linlang's identity was special. Many important calls were state secrets, so it was inevitable that she had to avoid it. After Meng Linlang left, Ning Shi wandered around the villa and enjoyed the scenery. At the entrance of the villa, two sweet and tall female receptionists were looking at Ning Shi from time to time. What does that woman do? She has been walking around the villa for a long time. Judging from her temperament and appearance, is she a dignitary? One of them said. Doesn't look like it. The other receptionist shook her head. The villa is hiring servants. She must be here to apply for a job. She remembered all the dignitaries in the capital who came to this Sky Spring Villa for a long time. However, this girl looked very unfamiliar. She had never seen her before. Because of the fame of the villa, many beautiful girls, even those from good families, tried to sneak in. None of the receptionists were poor. This position was a good stepping stone for him to jump up. She's indeed not a customer here, but she looks a little familiar. She seems to be a very popular female celebrity from a long time ago. The female receptionist stared at the face in the distance that was beautiful enough to make any woman jealous and said hesitantly, "Even a popular star doesn't deserve to come to our Sky Spring Villa, let alone a has-been." The other one said disdainfully. The two receptionists were used to this kind of people, so they didn't pay much attention to them. Not long after, a pure white Maserati slowly stopped nearby. The exquisite door opened, and a woman in a sapphire blue evening gown with a Chanel bag stepped out of the car. Miss Ning. Although the woman was wearing sunglasses, the two receptionists recognized her at first glance and immediately went to greet her. Ning Xiulua walked to the passenger seat, opened the door, and helped the middle-aged woman out of the car. "That's Miss Ning's mother-in-law, Madame Zhe," a female receptionist asked softly upon seeing the middle-aged woman. Receptionists like them knew almost all the famous people in the capital's upper class like the back of their hands. "Sorry for the long wait. This is my invitation letter." Ning Xiulua thanked them politely. The few of them chatted for a while and were about to walk inside. At this moment, Zhang Minjun caught a glimpse of a familiar figure by the stream in the distance. The person over there was... Zhang Minjun frowned and pulled Ning Xiulua to her side. "Xiulua, look. Is that Ning Shi?" "What? Ning Shi?" Hearing Ning Shi's name, Ning Xiulua subconsciously looked in the direction of the stream. Then his pupils suddenly shrank. It really was her. "Mom, it's my sister," Ning Xiulua said. Her eyes immediately darkened. "I didn't expect to meet that bitch here. What's she doing here?" Ning Xiulua pondered for a moment and immediately understood. He was most likely here to curry favor. Could it be that he was abandoned by some old man and couldn't go on anymore, so he wanted to find a new backer? Ning Xiulua's face flashed with joy. She adjusted the hem of her exquisite dress and said to Zhang Minjun, "Mom, let's go and say hello. I haven't seen my sister for a long time. It's been a long time since we last met." Chapter 1861. Ning Xiulua walked forward after she finished speaking. She looked as if she had seen her family. Zhang Minjun didn't want to talk to her, but she had to follow Ning Xiulua. "Sister, is that you?" Walking to the spring, Ning Xiulua looked at Ning Shi with excitement and anxiety. Hearing the voice behind her, Ning, she turned around subconsciously. Seeing Ning, she was surprised and raised her eyebrows. She didn't expect to meet Ning Shualaw in Sky Spring Manor, and Su Yan's mother, Zheng Minjun, was also here. Sister, where have you been this year? Brother Yan and I are so worried about you. Ning Shualaw said with tears in her eyes. As soon as Ning, she turned around. Worry? Zheng Minjun sneered. Shualaw, what are you worried about? Who didn't know that this woman was kept by a powerful and influential old man? Otherwise, she wouldn't have given up the entertainment circle. She must have been enjoying herself this year. You don't have to worry about her. Mom, I believe my sister is not that kind of person. Ning Shualaw tried to defend her. Shualuo, you are too naive. Mother has lived for so many years. What kind of people have I not seen? For the sake of glory, splendor, and wealth, there are countless of women who are willing to sell their bodies. How would you know how dirty this is? Zheng Minjun looked at Ning, she's expression as if she had seen something disgusting. Ning Shualaw smiled at Ning, she apologetically. Mom, don't say that about my sister. Ning, she stood there and cursed. She looked at the two of them as if they were idiots. She had thought that Ning Shualaw had made some progress after a year, but she didn't change at all. Was she really going to dominate the world with this trick? Before Zheng Minjun said anything, Ning Shualaw said, Sister, I'm sorry. Mom, and I have to go to the manor. We have to go now. After that, he reminded her casually. By the way, sister, are you here to see Madam Li? You need an invitation to enter, but I only have 2. Otherwise, I can bring you in with me. Zheng Minjun frowned and said, Shualaw, that's enough. How could she enter such a place? Shualuo, let's quickly go in. Don't let Madam Li wait anxiously. Sister, I'll look for you again if I have the chance. Ning Shualaw left with Zheng Minjun after she achieved her goal of showing off. When the 2 female receptionists saw them coming back, one of them looked at Ning, she and asked curiously, Miss Ning, Ms. Zheng, do you know that woman over there? Zheng Minjun immediately said, How could we possibly know such a lowly woman? Hearing Zheng Minjun's tone, the receptionist immediately corrected herself. I knew it. With your status, you shouldn't know that kind of woman. I saw her walking around the villa for a long time. I guess she's here to apply for the position of an internal servant. He's just a has-been actor. I'm afraid he's tired of being kept as a mistress. He probably can't go on any longer. Maybe he's really here to apply for the position of a chamberlain. Zheng Minjun sneered. A has-been actor? And a kept woman? Hearing Zheng Minjun's words, a hint of disgust appeared in the eyes of the 2 receptionists. No wonder. The moment I saw that woman, I knew that she was the same as those women who have been trying to get close to us recently. Chapter 1862. No wonder. The moment I saw that woman, I knew that she was the same as those women who have been trying to get close to us recently. What does she think this is? All of us are highly educated and have undergone strict training. Does she think she can get in here with her face and body? Female receptionists like them held great malice towards women who wanted to compete with them for jobs, and their words were also very unpleasant. Of course, Zheng Minjun and Ning Shualaw were very happy to hear such words. If she's really here for the job, don't use her. Don't dirty the territory of Tianquan Villa. Zheng Minjun said quietly. Of course. Don't worry. We'll warn that woman later. We won't disturb our guests. The 2 of them answered. Soon, the 2 receptionists led Zheng Minjun and Ning Shualaw in and came back. Sure enough, Ning she was still lingering nearby and refused to leave. The 2 of them looked at each other and immediately walked up to her with cold faces. They were stunned when they saw Ning Shi's face at a close distance. They were even more shocked when they saw her up close. The girl's skin was as white as the finest mutton fat jade. They couldn't even see her pores. Her temperament, appearance, and figure were even better than the ladies of the rich and powerful families. No wonder she looked so familiar just now. She was indeed a big star. Wasn't she Ning Shi, the female lead of 9 Firmaments? They didn't expect that Ning, she was even more beautiful than she was on TV. She hadn't appeared on the big screen for more than a year, but her appearance and figure didn't seem to be damaged. Instead, she looked even better than before. I'm afraid that this woman wasn't abandoned, but was relying on her good looks, unwilling to just be a mistress. She wanted to continue climbing up the ladder. No matter how beautiful and popular she was just a lowly actress. Did she want to be a government official? She was like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. She was dreaming. Among the women who came to the villa for the job, they hated people from the entertainment industry the most, because people from that industry often had the most tricks and were the biggest threat to them. I'm sorry, this is a private club. You can't visit at will. One of the female receptionists looked Xianxia up and down and said coldly, Miss, if you're here for the job, I'm sorry, but we have enough people in Tianquan Villa. You could try another one, the other said. A beautiful actress who was past her prime and had once been a mistress came to the Sky Spring Villa to apply for a job. Was there even need to ask? She must be looking for a new target. It was disgusting to think about it. Job. Xianxia was stunned and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Did she look like she was looking for a job? One of them looked at the time on his phone and said impatiently, Stop pretending. We've seen plenty of people like you. Hurry up and leave. Otherwise, if we see you wandering around here, it won't be as simple as a warning. They had to entertain the guests, and they didn't want to waste their time here. This woman had been wandering around here alone for so long. It was obvious that she didn't have any connections. She must have come here to try her luck. This kind of person would definitely not be casually recruited. These inner attendants all had their own recommendations to ensure that there was no problem with their family background and identity. Chapter 1863. Not long after they left, Xianxia received a call from Meng Linlang. Xiaoxi, I'm really sorry. I have something urgent to attend to. I've already sent someone to pick you up. You can go in with her first. I'll be done soon. Okay, it's okay, Aunt. You could do what you need to do. Xianxia did not mention what had happened just now to Meng Linlang in case she got into a conflict with the host family. In any case, it was just a small misunderstanding between two waiters. After Xianxia hung up the phone, a receptionist wearing the same uniform as the two receptionists just now came over. The moment the receptionist saw the girl, she was stunned by the girl's appearance and temperament. However, her professional qualities made her quickly recover. Hello, Madame Zhuang asked me to pick you up. Please follow me. Thank you. Along the way, the receptionist secretly looked at the girl beside her from time to time. Who was this girl to Meng Linlang? Why hadn't she seen her before? She looked like a big star she knew, but there was still a big difference in temperament and appearance. It was probably just a similarity in appearance. Although she was very curious, she did not dare to rashly ask because of her status. She could only secretly guess. At the same time, the atmosphere of the small gathering of the madams in the villa was lively. The two receptionists just now were now with sweet smiles on their faces. They skillfully interspersed and served the distinguished madams. Madame Li was surrounded by a myriad of stars surrounding the moon. There was laughter and cheers all around. The topics of the women's conversation were nothing more than clothes, jewelry, men, and gossip. Of course, they did not forget to quietly inquire about the news and hint their purpose to the people they wanted the other party to know. This was a diplomacy between the madams. In many cases, madam diplomacy also occupied an extremely important position in the business and political circles. When Xianxia and Zheng Minjun arrived, they only saw that all the people present were people that they would normally have a hard time meeting. Apart from the mistresses of the top rich and powerful families, most of them were the wives of officials. Xianxia and Zheng Minjun mingled quite well in the business circle, but they were nothing here. When the two arrived, only Xiaoxia's introducer and a few others greeted them, and then continued to chat. However, the two of them didn't care at all. After all, the other party's status was obvious. When Zheng Minjun saw such a high-end gathering, she was full of pride and anticipation. After this gathering, it would be enough for her to show off in front of the ladies and madams that she usually hung out with for a long time. Xiaoxia's eyes flickered slightly. She started from a rich lady whom she was acquainted with and slowly joined their conversation. Although she couldn't talk to Mrs. Li for the time being, she knew that this kind of thing couldn't be rushed. It was already a success for her to be able to get familiar with Mrs. Li today. If she was too polite, she would leave a bad impression. After chatting for a while, Ning Shuo caught a glimpse of the unique magnolia brooch on Madame Li's chest. She found a suitable opportunity and tried to use it as a topic of conversation. Madame Li, the brooch on your dress is really unique. I wonder where you got it from. I was wondering what to give my mother for her birthday. Because of Ning Shuo's interruption, everyone's eyes fell on her. The one who spoke was an unfamiliar girl. She had an outstanding appearance and a gentle temperament. It seemed like she came from an extraordinary family. Chapter 1864. When Liu heard Ning Shuo's question, he looked happy and answered, "Well, I don't think I can buy it. My son made it for me personally." Ning Shuo's eyes lit up when she heard that. She knew that she had asked the right question and immediately complimented, "Mr. Li is so filial." As soon as Ning Shuo said that, everyone started to praise Liu's son. That's right. Minister Li's son is famous for being filial in the circle. Not only that, Mayan is highly appreciated in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Even that person has praised him. His future is limitless. When Zheng Minjun saw that Ning Shuo's words had hit the nail on the head and won Liu's favor, she was overjoyed and praised. "Mrs. Li, you're so lucky." Liu was in a good mood when she mentioned her son, so she was happy to talk to him. "Mrs. Li, you look unfamiliar. May I know who you are?" When Zheng Minjun saw that Liu noticed her and even talked to her, she was overjoyed. She immediately introduced herself. "My surname is Zheng. My husband is the chairman of Yifeng Group, Su Hongguang. My son is the CEO of Guangyi Group. This is my daughter-in-law, Shuo. Mrs. Li, my name is Ning Shuo. There were too many rich families in the capital. Liu actually did not have much impression of Yifeng Group or this girl. However, he still greeted her politely. Mrs. Zheng is so lucky to have such a beautiful daughter-in-law. Although it was only a short conversation, Mrs. Li was impressed by it. This trip was so worth it. Zheng Minjun felt that it was the right decision to let Su Yin marry Ning Shuo. The two receptionists were used to being flexible. Seeing that Liu had taken a liking to Zheng Minjun and Ning Shuo, they were even more attentive to them. "I haven't seen Mrs. Li so happy in a long time. Isn't that so?" The two of them were at ease in front of the nobles. Suddenly, they caught a glimpse of a familiar figure from the corner of their eyes. The shameless actor who had been loitering outside with malicious intentions just now had the audacity to barge into this place. How could this be? Seeing that Ning Shuo was about to barge in, the receptionist with a sharp chin stopped what she was doing and rushed over. She shouted angrily, "Stop! Who allowed you to come in? Do you know what this place is?" Another short-haired receptionist stared at the receptionist next to Ning Shi and said sternly, "Xiao Kai, what's wrong with you? How many benefits had he received from them? How could they bring in such a messy person? Can you afford to disturb the nobles inside?" After all, it was Zheng Minjun who said that Ning Shi was an actress, so the two of them had completely confirmed her identity and didn't think of other possibilities at all. The receptionist named Xiao Kai opened his mouth and wanted to explain, but he was stunned by the two people's angry scolding. Wasn't this woman the person Madame Zhuang had asked her to bring in? Did she pick up the wrong person? Then she would be in big trouble. Seeing the panic on Xiao Kai's face, the two of them were even more certain of their judgment. At this time, the commotion outside the reception hall had gradually alerted the ladies inside. "What's going on?" Liu frowned unhappily. "I don't know. It seems like some random person has barged in." Ning Shuo had long noticed what was happening at the door. She saw that Ning Shi had the guts to directly bribe the receptionist to barge in. She was so ignorant and stupid that it was ridiculous. At this moment, seeing Ning, she cut a sorry figure like a clown. Her heart was full of ridicule and pleasure. Zheng Minjun sat nobly in her seat, her face full of disgust. "What a disgrace, Xiao Kai. You're really audacious. Don't explain to us. Go and explain to the manager yourself." And you, woman, do you have any shame? Didn't I tell you that we don't recruit waiters? A prostitute cleaning our Sky Spring Villa's toilets would be dirty for us. The two receptionists' words were more unpleasant to hear, and they were ready to call the security guards to arrest her. However, just as the sharp-chinned receptionist's voice fell, an extremely fierce and angry voice suddenly came from behind. Impudent. Chapter 1865. Liu was very dissatisfied that his party had been disturbed. He was about to send someone to drive them away. But then he saw Meng Linlang suddenly appear, angrily looking at the two receptionists and angrily rebuking. Presumptuous! Let my niece come to your Sky Spring Villa to clean the toilets. Who gave you the courage? Meng Linlang was, after all, from a military and political family. When she was angry, her momentum was extremely frightening, and a terrible low pressure instantly enveloped the whole reception hall. Following Meng Linlong's angry rebuke, everyone present was dumbfounded. The two receptionists, whose words were more unpleasant than the previous one, stiffened their bodies and stared at each other in horror, unable to believe it in any case. This dirty actress was Meng Linlong's niece? How could this be possible? Just now, Zheng Minjun had personally said that she was a mistress, and that she was a has-been. But how could Meng Linlong's words be wrong? What the hell was going on? The two had been completely scared silly. The short-haired receptionist trembled like a sieve. Zhuang? Madame Zhuang, it's not like this. This is a misunderstanding. We might have recognized the wrong person. The other female receptionist with a pointy chin repeatedly echoed. Yes, we recognize the wrong person. We recognize the wrong person. Those who don't know are not at fault, Madame Zhuang. You are a magnanimous person. Listening to the two's explanation, Meng Linlong's face not only did not ease, but became even more gloomy. Her eyes swept over the two, and she sneered. Oh, recognize the wrong person? Do you mean that my Xiaoxi looks like a waiter, like an idler who is not even qualified to clean the toilets of your Sky Spring Villa? The moment the last word fell, the pressure of a high-ranking person made the two's legs go soft, and they almost collapsed in fright. And the female receptionist who had led Ning Xian, Xiao Kai, who was about to cry just now, was standing there blankly. She thought she was going to die. She didn't expect that the wrong person was not her, but these two people. She was scared to death. She had said this girl's temperament was so good. How could she have recognized the wrong person? Seeing that Meng Linlang was so angry that her chest was heaving up and down, she couldn't help saying softly, "Aunt, forget it." After all, this was Mrs. Li's private gathering, and Mrs. Li and Meng Linlang were close friends. If they fought because of him, Meng Linlang would be in a difficult position. Meng Linlang cared about her wholeheartedly, and she really didn't want to cause trouble for her. This was also the reason why she didn't bicker with the two of them and wanted to resolve this small matter. Meng Linlang naturally knew that she had endured it for him, so he immediately sneered. Forget it. With that, he turned his ice-cold gaze towards the direction of the parlor and said sternly, Li Yu, is this how the Heavenly Spring Manor treats its guests? Li Yu had never thought that things would develop to this point, and he immediately felt a headache coming on. These two idiots. How could he make such a low-level mistake? Who was Meng Linlang? Even if she was the minister's wife, she wouldn't be able to bear the consequences if she offended her. And based on her understanding of Meng Linlang, she was really angry this time, which showed that this girl's status in the Zhuang family was definitely not low in Meng Linlang's heart. Seeing that Meng Linlang was furious, even Liu panicked. In the entire parlor, all the ladies and madams kept quiet out of fear, and no one dared to say a word. Liu gathered the shawl on his shoulders, glared at the two receptionists, and had no choice but to hurry over to apologize. Chapter 1866. Liu hurriedly walked over. Linlang, I'm really sorry. This is really a misunderstanding. If they had known that this girl was your Xiaoxi, they wouldn't have dared to say such a thing even if they were 100 times bolder. Liu did not know what had gotten into these two girls, but the most important thing right now was to suppress Meng Linlong's anger as soon as possible, rather than continuing to investigate and implicate more people, which would only make things worse. You two, come and apologize to Miss Xiaoxi. Liu was full of anger when he saw them. The two receptionists naturally didn't dare to say that they were jealous and afraid of losing their jobs, so they took it for granted that Ningxi came to apply for a job. They also didn't dare to say that Zheng Minjun told them that she was a has-been actress. Otherwise, they would not only offend Meng Linlang, but also Zheng Minjun, so they could only keep apologizing. Mrs. Zhuang, I'm sorry. Miss Xiaoxi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We really didn't mean it. Liu said without hesitation. You two, go to the finance department and settle this month's salary. Don't come tomorrow. Hearing Liu's words, the two suddenly turned pale. Mrs. Liu, in order to send them here, their family spent a lot of money and used many connections, but in the end they lost their jobs and were fired by Mrs. Li herself. Their reputation was ruined. The two wanted to beg, but when they saw Liu's fierce eyes, they immediately knew that if they said more, the consequences would be more serious, so they could only leave with pale faces. Xiao Kai watched them for a long time, and when she was sure that she should be fine, she also hurriedly left. After dealing with the two of them, Liu walked over and held Meng Linlong's hand with a smile on his face. Linlang, I've dealt with them, so don't be angry anymore. It's not easy for us to get together. You're so hot-tempered. You don't know how to give me face in front of so many people. Liu looked a little sad. Meng Linlang was really angry just now, but another important reason was to take this opportunity to build up Ningxi's prestige. At this time, seeing that her purpose was almost achieved, she naturally wouldn't be aggressive. She squinted at her best friend and said, you also know my character. If it were someone else, do you think I would let it go so easily? Liu broke into laughter. Yes. I know you are gentle enough. Thank you for giving me face. Today's matter is indeed the fault of our heavenly Spring Manor. After all, the Sky Spring Manor was the property of the Li family. Not only were they the hosts of the banquet, but they were also the managers. They definitely couldn't shirk this responsibility. After Liu finished speaking, he hurriedly changed the topic and pulled Ningxi, who was standing beside Meng Linlang, to the side with a look of amazement. Linlang, I've always heard you talk about it, and I thought you were exaggerating. Now that I've seen it with my own eyes, I know you're not exaggerating, but you're being too modest. With such looks and temperament, I really can't find a second one among so many young ladies of aristocratic families. Just now, she was far away, and Ningxi was blocked by those people, so she didn't see it clearly. Now that she saw it, she felt that something was wrong. The two receptionists were smart. Why did they inexplicably think that Xiaoxi was here to apply for a waitress job? What was even more ridiculous was that he even said that she was an actress who was out to sell herself. Even if Xiaoxi was an actress, with her background, how could she do such a thing? At this moment, not far away, in addition to those madams, the most shocked people were Ning Xiulo and Zheng Minjun. From the moment Meng Linlang appeared, Zheng Minjun already had an ominous premonition. When she heard Meng Linlang say Meng Linlong's niece in public, her mind exploded, and she was completely dumbfounded. Chapter 1867. When Zheng Minjun heard Meng Linlang say Meng Linlong's biological niece in front of everyone, her mind exploded, and she was completely dumbfounded. Other than that, she felt guilty and panicked. Especially when Liu was dealing with the two receptionists just now, he was afraid that they would spill the beans and reveal what he had just said. At this moment, looking at Liu holding Ningxi's hand enthusiastically, praising and appreciating her, and the ladies around them were also flattering her. Zheng Minjun sat there stiffly. The pride she had just now had disappeared without a trace. They had tried their best to get 2 invitations through their connections, and only then could they say a few words to Mrs. Li. It was ridiculous that they were so complacent about it. As for Ningxi, just because she was the granddaughter of the Zhuang family, and the niece of Zhuang, Liao Yuan, and Meng Linlang, she could easily get in touch with the upper echelons of the family and get resources that they might not be able to get in their lifetime. And her son, the Su family, had the opportunity to marry such a noble daughter-in-law who could bring the Su family supreme glory. Marry a real phoenix. Because of Ning Xiaoluo's business ability, she had almost forgotten about her family background. At this moment, she deeply felt the huge gap of identity. Everything that Ning Xiaoluo had added up could not compare Ning Shi's identity. She had known this for a long time, so when she knew that Ning Shi was very close to the Zhuang family, she immediately had that idea, until Ning Shi disappeared later, and it was rumored that she was a kept woman. But now, she never expected that the Zhuang family had already recognized Ning Shi, and that Meng Linlong's attitude towards Ning Shi was so protective. Even if it was his biological daughter, it was nothing more than this. From this point of view, the rumor that Ning Shi was a kept woman was simply a joke. Those photos and videos were all unreliable evidence. Thinking of this, Zheng Minjun's intestines turned green with regret, and she sat there absent-mindedly. And how could Ning Xiaoluo, who was beside her, not know what Zheng Minjun was thinking, and her nails had already dug deep into her palms? The original certainty and gloating had all turned into monstrous jealousy and resentment. Why? Why all of this was Ning Shi's? She was the eldest daughter of the Ning family, the daughter of Zhuang Lingyu. From the moment she was born, all of this should have been hers. The Zhuang family should also be hers. Why was it that even with all her efforts, she still could not compare to the pheasant raised by Ning Shi? Seeing this, she could not help asking, "Xiaoluo, why don't you go and greet Madame Zhuang?" Seeing this, Ning Xiaoluo could not help but ask, "Xiaoluo of Zhuang." Ning Xiaoluo's face stiffened when she heard that. I'm afraid it's a little rude to go forward." Ning Shi's Ning Xian Shuez of Shi. She has Ning Ning Yi Xian Ning Shi Ning Shi's of Ming of Ning Ning Shi Ning of S Shi's Ning Shi Ning of Long Long Lin Meng Shi Li Chi of Shi with Ning I Li I told you Li with Shi Li and of I Li Li Shi I Shi and of Shi Li. That last's relationship with the Zhuang family is all because of your mother. Chapter 1868. Ning Xiaoluo listened to Zheng Minjun's complaints, and a trace of gloom flashed across her eyes. "Mom, it's because I have a close relationship with my mother that the Zhuang family won't get close to me. You also know that my mother and the Zhuang family have always been at odds. If you had listened to me and persuaded your mother to think for you and have a good relationship with the Zhuang family, you would have been Madame Li's guest of honor today. How did you get to the point where you have to go around begging just to get an invitation letter?" Zheng Minjun's expression was full of resentment, and her tone was full of complaints. She was a completely different person from her previous proud attitude. Ning Xiaoluo heard Zheng Minjun speak in such a relaxed tone, and her heart was full of annoyance. Did she think that she hadn't done it before? It was easy for her to talk. If it was so easy, how could she have not even touched the Zhuang family's side until now? But she always pretended to be calm and innocent in front of Zheng Minjun. At this moment, she couldn't refute, even if she wanted to explain. She could only suppress her anger with a sullen face and watch Ning Shi being taken by Meng Linlang to walk among those noble madams. "Madame Zhuang, this is your fault. You have such a beautiful and outstanding niece, but you are still hiding it. Quickly introduce her to us. What is your niece's name? I don't know if it's my illusion, but I feel that this girl looks familiar." One of the madams in a champagne-colored dress asked hesitantly. A few madams at the side also chimed in. Indeed, he does look somewhat familiar, but they did not dare to recognize her. With Meng Linlong's character, even Li Yu was afraid of her. Who dared to provoke her? Ning Xiaoluo heard those madams' words and thought gloomily, "Oh, how could she not look familiar? She was just an actress. What do they say wrong?" Even if she climbed up the Zhuang family's high branch, it could not change this fact, not to mention that she had made a comeback. Meng Linlang heard everyone's questions and glanced at Ning Shi. Seeing the girl's calm expression, she felt very gratified. So she said with a proud look, "Of course she looks familiar. My niece is called Ningxi." Ningxi. Hearing this familiar name, several madams suddenly came to their senses. This girl was really Ningxi? The female celebrity who was extremely popular a year ago, but suddenly disappeared? Ningxi turned out to be the Zhuang family's niece. This gossip was really amazing. Oh, it turns out that she is the big star Ningxi. I was wondering why she looked so familiar. It's just that Madame Zhuang, your niece, is even more beautiful and elegant than she is in real life. I didn't dare to recognize her at the moment. Miss Ning, my daughter is your loyal fan. Ningxi, can I have your autograph? Ningxua looked at those officials' wives and madams who had always looked down on the entertainment circle, but now they were flattering Ningxi. She bit her lips unwillingly. This slut was relying on the fact that she was the Zhuang family's niece. The Ninglins of Ning said, "Miss Ning, I really like your acting. You're so good at it. When I found out that you were going to retire, I was very disappointed. I wonder if you'll continue acting in the future?" A madam asked regretfully. Judging from her expression, she really liked Ningxi's play. Ning said Ning. One said Lin Ning. Ning said Ning. One said with Ning. Ning Ning Shi. Chapter 1869. Really? That's great. The lady looked expectant. At this time, Liu couldn't help but say to Meng Lin Lang, "It's so tiring to be an actress. Why do you make Xiaoxi work so hard?" Liu actually felt that being an actress didn't suit Ning Shi's identity, but because he was close to Meng Lin Lang, he said it directly. Ning Shi replied, "I like acting, so I don't think it's tiring." Meng Lin Lang, of course, knew what Liu was implying, so she said casually, "The Zhuang family's daughter can do whatever she wants as long as she's capable. There's no need to be so particular." If someone else had said this, they might not have taken it seriously. But it was Meng Lin Lang who said it, so they couldn't refute her. With the Zhuang family's background, Ningxi could do anything she wanted. Nowadays, many celebrities in the entertainment industry might not look special, but in fact they all had amazing backgrounds. Because of the power of their families, only a few people in the entertainment industry knew about them. How could these people be compared to ordinary artists? Besides, when Ningxi was popular, she had a good reputation among the people. Therefore, these madams didn't think much of Ningxi's career. No matter how chaotic the entertainment industry was, Ningxi wouldn't meet anyone with her background. On the contrary, when they met Ningxi for the first time, they found that this girl was not only beautiful, but also had a good personality. In the face of the rude and unreasonable attitude of the two receptionists just now, her expression was still indifferent, not angry or annoyed. At this moment, even when facing her own profession, her expression was still magnanimous. This was completely the upbringing and bearing of a young lady of an aristocratic family. And with such a family background and character, she was undoubtedly the best candidate to be the mistress of each family. For a moment, some of the madams of young masters of marriageable age began to secretly have feelings for Ning. Zheng Minjun felt even more uncomfortable when she saw that those officials' wives were so interested in Ningxi. Ning Xihuo, on the other hand, couldn't stay any longer when she saw those madams' attitude towards Ningxi. She even seemed to want to marry Ningxi, this bitch, so she couldn't stay any longer. She directly made an excuse that she was not feeling well and left the party in advance. Zheng Minjun had been worried that what she had said in front of the receptionist would be discovered, so she didn't want to stay any longer. The two of them left in a hurry. Before leaving, Zheng Minjun took a deep look in Ningxi's direction, and an indecipherable light flashed in her eyes. Just as everyone was trying to inquire about the news from Meng Lin Lang, a burst of footsteps suddenly came from the door of the flower hall. Several waiters came in the direction of the flower hall with delicate gifts in their hands. Following behind the waiters was a young man in a gray suit with a noble temperament. The waiters made way for him. The man stepped forward and called out in Li Yu's direction, "Mother, Muyan, why are you here?" Seeing his son, Li Yu immediately smiled. "I've just finished my work here. I heard that Mother is hosting a banquet here, so I came over to greet all the distinguished guests. After Li Mayan finished speaking, he gestured to the servants to distribute the gifts that he had carefully prepared. He sincerely apologized. Due to the negligence of the management of the Sky Spring Manor, I have disturbed the mood of all the guests. I hereby apologize to all of you. Chapter 1870. Seeing that Mrs. Li, the legendary diplomat's son, was noble, handsome, and meticulous, the ladies who were comforted by Mrs. Li all looked at her with admiration. Mr. Li, you're welcome. It's just a trivial matter. It's not a big deal. Mrs. Li, so this is your son. He's really a talented man. After exchanging greetings with the guests, Li Mayan came to greet Meng Linlang, and his tone was obviously much more intimate than that of the other guests. Aunt Lin, looking at this junior whom he had always loved, Meng Linlong's expression softened a lot. Mayan, you're back. Aunt Lin, what happened just now? Meng Linlang knew what he was going to say and interrupted him. Well, since it's been solved, don't mention it again. I won't hold a grudge because of such a trivial matter. My CC is not such a narrow-minded person. With that, Meng Linlang called out to Ning, she who was surrounded by a group of ladies not far away. CC, come here. Ning, she didn't know why those ladies suddenly became so interested in her private life and tried to inquire about it in a roundabout way. Ning, she almost couldn't cope with them all. Hearing Meng Linlang calling her, she breathed a sigh of relief, hurriedly said goodbye to the ladies, and walked towards Meng Linlang. Aunt, the girl slowly walked out of the crowd towards Meng Linlang. Hearing the clear voice, Li Mayan subconsciously raised his head and looked in the direction of the girl. However, with just a glance, he was completely stunned. The girl was wearing a moon-white dress, with long black hair like seaweed and an indescribably beautiful face, especially the quick-witted look in her eyes and the swaying smile at the corners of her eyes, like a ray of light. It suddenly exploded in his mind. Mayan, this is Cici. Meng Linlang introduced, and then looked at Ning Shi. Cici, this is your Aunt Yu's son, Li Mayan. He is 2 years older than you, so you should call him brother. Hearing this, Ning Shi nodded and greeted, Brother Mayan, hello, I'm Ning Shi. At this moment, Li Mayan had recovered from his momentary gaffe and didn't let anyone notice his strange expression. He hurriedly said, hello, Cici. I've heard Auntie Lin mention you a long time ago. Indeed, seeing is believing. Although Li Mayan was shrewd enough not to let anyone notice anything strange about him, Liu was not included. Although it was only for a moment, Liu could still see the difference in his son's eyes. Her son had been traveling around the world all year round. His eyes were on the top of his head, and she had never seen a girl catch his eye. His marriage had always been one of her biggest worries. Liu's eyes flickered, and he immediately said, Mu Yin, it's inevitable that Xiaoxi will feel bored chatting with us aunties. I'm worried that she'll be bored. Since you're back, why don't you show her around and be a good host? Of course, if Xiaoxi doesn't mind, I'd be happy to be your tour guide, Li Mayan said. Ning, she looked at Meng Linlang subconsciously. Seeing this, Meng Linlang's eyes turned slightly. She might not have understood Li Mayan's intentions just now, but she understood Li Yu's actions now. Meng Linlang took a deep look at Li Yu and then said to Ning Shi as if she didn't care, Go ahead. It's good to walk around. Chapter 1871. In fact, Meng Linlang felt a bit regretful at the moment. If she had taken Xiaoxi home earlier, she would have arranged the most suitable marriage for her. In all fairness, Lu Tingxiao's status was second to none, but this was also her biggest concern. She was worried that Xiaoxi would not be able to cope with such a large and complicated family. In fact, the Li family was a very suitable candidate. Their status was enough to match the Zhuang family, and they were not so powerful that Xiaoxi would feel pressured. Most importantly, the Li family's personnel relationship was much simpler. The Li family was the richest businessman in S province, and Li Yu was the only daughter of the Li family. Li Mayan was Li Yu's only son. Not only did he inherit his father's job in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but he also had the huge financial support of the Li family, which gave him more confidence in the officialdom. Coincidentally, the Li couple shared the same surname. So Li Yu's mother's family was closer to Li Mayan, who shared the same surname. The whole family fully supported him. If Ningxi married into such a family, she would not have to worry about complicated interpersonal relationships in the future. Besides, she was very close to Li Yu. If Xiaoxi married him, she wouldn't even have to worry about the relationship between her mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. In a short time, Meng Linlang had already sorted out the background of the Li family. Unfortunately, what she could do now was to try her best to help Xiaoxi build connections to cope with whatever she had to face in the Liu family in the future. Of course, even if Xiaoxi could not cope with it, the Zhuang family would always be her escape route. Sky Spring Villa, halfway up the mountain. The reason why Sky Spring Villa was called Sky Spring was that there was a very famous spring in the mountain, which was called the water of the Sky River. After drinking it, it could get rid of bad luck and keep the body healthy. Li Mayan said that he was a tour guide, so he earnestly explained the origin of the Sky Spring Villa, the structure of the Sky Spring Villa, the origin of its name, the relevant anecdotes of famous people, and finally the history of the entire capital. He explained everything in detail and was even more professional than a professional tour guide. Ning, she listened attentively. She had been in the capital for many years, but after talking with Li Mayan, she found that she really knew little about the capital. Li Mayan looked at Ningxi's eyes, which reflected the sky above her head, the shadows of the trees around them, and him. The man still looked noble and elegant on the surface, but his palms were already wet with sweat. Her heart was beating uncontrollably. He wasn't seriously acting as a tour guide at all. He could only keep talking to maintain his composure at this moment. It was probably because he had been traveling with his father since he was young. His mother's and grandfather's side also doted on him very much. Everything he ate and wore was the best. The women he had interacted with ranged from the daughters of rich and powerful families to the daughters of high officials, and even princesses and princesses. Because of this, he was extremely picky. He had never been interested in dealing with women. And the partner that he pursued was a partner that could truly communicate with his soul, not those puppets that had been trained by his family and seemed to be carved out of the same mold. He had never been so attracted to a person's temperament with just a glance. He didn't even know anything about her. Xiaoxi didn't grow up in the capital. Seeing that Ning, she didn't know much about the things that people in the capital should know, Li Mayan asked casually. Ning, she shook her head. I grew up in a small town in Sea City before I was 18. Chapter 1872. A small town in Sea City. As the niece of the Zhuang family, how could she grow up in a place like that until she was 18 years old? He didn't seem to remember which daughter of General Zhuang was married to Sea City. I see. With just one sentence, Li Mayan knew that there must be many secrets that he didn't understand, so he immediately changed the topic and didn't ask any more questions. In just a short half an hour, the gathering of the ladies in front of them ended very quickly. Ning, she also left with Meng Linlang. The sound of the spring water was tinkling, and behind him was the shade of trees and flowers. Li Mayan's slender figure stood at the entrance of the villa, looking at the car that gradually drove out of sight. As a diplomat, the most important thing was to be rational. Whether it was dealing with national affairs or his own partner, he had an almost strict set of standards. However, until he met that person, he didn't know that one day he would have an unreasonable and irrational love at first sight for a person. The man pinched between his eyebrows, and in his eyes, which were always calm and emotionless, appeared a touch of light that had never appeared before. This feeling made him flustered and helpless, but more than that, it was a new experience that had transcended the ideas he had held for so many years. Mayan. Li Yu looked at his son with a thoughtful expression. Mother. Li Mayan turned around. You and Xiaoxi. Li Yu paused and then said hesitantly, Do you want me to help you ask about Xiaoxi? Xiaoxi's situation is a bit complicated. She was switched when she was born, so she grew up in the countryside before she was 18 years old, so she had a big conflict with her biological mother and almost cut off contact with her. and her biological mother broke off the mother-daughter relationship with Grandpa Zhuang because of something, but the point is from Grandpa Zhuang to Zhuang, Liaoyuan, and Linlang. Although they don't have any contact with Xiaoxi's biological mother, they all love her very much. The reason why Meng Linlang is so angry today is obviously not because of our Sky Spring Villa, but because she wants to support Xiaoxi. Mayan, if you... Liu was about to continue, but Li Mayan directly interrupted his mother. Mother, it's not necessary. I don't want to make it a formal blind date. Just let nature take its course. Li was just testing him. Hearing this, he was shocked. Are you really interested in Xiaoxi? Li Mayan's heart had yet to calm down. He looked at his mother and said, Mother, I've never felt this way towards any girl before. When Liu heard that her son had finally fallen in love with a girl, she was actually very pleased. Moreover, the girl's family background was not bad, and Meng Linlang was her close friend. Although Xiaoxi's life is a bit rough with the Zhuang family here, her family background is comparable to our Li family. However, we still don't know much about Xiaoxi. How about... Mother, I don't care about that. Besides, the most meaningful part of getting along with people is the process of getting to know them. Liu chuckled helplessly. All right. Mom can't out-talk you. Let nature take its course. I won't interfere. At the same time, in Meng Linlang's car. Xiaoxi, how was your chat with Mu Yin? Meng Linlang asked casually. Ning, she nodded. Very good. Brother Mu Yin is very knowledgeable and easygoing. Meng Linlang noticed Ning, she's expression, and made sure there was nothing wrong with her. She thought that Ning, she just had a good impression of her at most, so she must be overthinking. Chapter 1873. Night, Shidori Company Building. On her way home, Ning Shuo received a call from the company. She just left Mrs. Li's party upset when bad news came from the company. Zealing, which had been silent for a whole year and had been suppressed to the point of almost disappearing from the Chinese market, instantly became famous because of Ning Shi's plain white qipao at the Under the Heavens promotion ceremony. What was even more troublesome was that, taking advantage of this trend, Zealing officially announced a batch of new designs that were about to hit the market, and this set was about to be sold out even though it was still in the pre-order stage. What return to simplicity? It's obvious that Jiang Lang has run out of ideas and doesn't know how to design at all. How on earth did they sell this worthless junk that doesn't have any highlights or characteristics? The deputy director of design cursed angrily. Is it because of the celebrity effect? The completely plain white qipao that Ning Shi wore that day was even less distinctive, but her outfit. The designer who spoke seemed to want to say, it's too stunning, but glanced at Dai Wei out of the corner of his eye, and his words changed stiffly. It's just SOSO. I think it's all hyped up. One of the younger male designers said weakly, actually, I think it's because people are tired of the Chinese style with too many gorgeous colors and ornaments. So return to simplicity suddenly became popular. In the conference room, the atmosphere was stagnant and silent for a moment. Then someone said, if they can do it, then so can we. Zealing's lousy design can become popular. Not to mention we have Boss Dai. Didn't they take the lead? Dai Wei's face darkened, and he swept a cold glance at the person who spoke. You mean for me to follow in the footsteps of Zealing? The person who spoke immediately stiffened and hurriedly said, of course I don't mean that. Boss Dai, you've always been a pioneer in the industry. Always imitated, never surpassed. Why would you need to follow in the footsteps of others? What I mean is, that guy's design is too lousy. This time, it's completely opportunistic. We don't have to care about it. His style is fresh to everyone for a while. It definitely won't last long. That's right, wasn't it the same before? That guy definitely won't last long. The others also echoed. Dai Wei's expression still hadn't completely eased up. Although this matter wasn't a big problem, it still made him very unhappy. On the main seat, Ning Shiluo's expression was also very gloomy. Although it's not a serious problem, we can't let our guard down. I need you to come up with a solution today. I won't allow anything to happen to history. Recently, there were enough things that made her feel stifled. Ning Shi's appearance was like a curse. Bad things happened one after another. Ning Shuo held the pen in her hand and looked at the night sky outside the window. A chill flashed through her eyes. She could almost imagine how Zheng Minjun's attitude towards her would change in the future. It might even become more serious. His position in the Su family, which he had spent a whole year trying to stabilize, was completely destroyed in today's gathering. Dai Wei glanced at the deputy director of design viciously when he heard that. The deputy director got the hint and pushed his glasses up the bridge of his nose. He looked at Dai Wei and said, "Boss, what you said isn't right. How can you be following in the footsteps of others? You've already discovered the saturation of the extravagant design market a month ago and prepared to change the style. You've even completed 70 to 80% of the design, but because it wasn't complete, you didn't announce it to everyone. Who knew that the rubbish design that came out a few days ago would snatch it away?" Chapter 1874. The deputy director's tone was filled with righteous indignation. He looked as if he could not take it anymore and wanted to fight for Dai Wei. At that moment, everyone in the conference room came to a realization. "I see. What a pity. Director Dai's control and sensitivity to the trend are indeed ahead of us. It's just that he's too focused on perfection. He's taken the lead just like that. Actually, I don't think we need to care about following the trend at all. The problem is whose design is the best. Moreover, who would think that history, the #1 company in the industry, would follow the trend of small company that has been eliminated by the market? That's right. Even if we're following the trend, it should be them following us." Following the deputy director's words, everyone agreed. In reality, that was indeed the case. Even if they knew the release time, many buyers who did not know the truth would still subconsciously think that a small company was following the trend of a large company. It was not the first time that such a situation had occurred in the industry. Many small companies had finally made some progress, but they were crushed by the large companies just like that. The best-case scenario was that the design was acquired, and the worst-case scenario was that the market was completely occupied by the large companies. Seeing that the time was right, the deputy director seized the opportunity to speak. "I think, boss, you don't have to worry at all. Just complete the design, and we'll release the new version. It'll definitely be better than Zealing." "I agree. I agree too." Hearing the agreement, Dai Wei's eyes flashed with a hint of pride. He looked at Ning Shuo, who was sitting at the head of the table, and said, "Let's listen to Director Ning on this matter." Ning Shuo thought for a moment and decided, "Let's do that." Then, to be safe, she asked, "Are you sure there's no problem with your design?" Dai Wei said confidently, "If Director Ning trusts me, I won't let you down." This year was enough for him to train a group of subordinates that he could trust. As long as he integrated all their designs, it would be their glory even if he wrote his name on it. Late at night, Su Mansion. In fact, Ning Shuo's guess was not wrong at all. Zheng Minjun locked herself in her bedroom as soon as she got home. Her mind was in a mess. Su Hongguang had just arrived home when he pushed open the door and saw Zheng Minjun pacing around the house restlessly. He couldn't help but frown. "It's so late. Why aren't you sleeping? Why are you pacing around the house? How'd it go with Mrs. Li today?" Su Hongguang obviously attached great importance to this matter, so he specifically asked. At the mention of this, Zheng Minjun immediately looked at her husband excitedly. "Hongguang, you're finally back. What happened?" Seeing that Zheng Minjun's expression wasn't right, Su Hongguang frowned and asked. Zheng Minjun said anxiously, "I saw Ningxi at Mrs. Li's party today." "Ningxi? Didn't she disappear for more than a year? I heard that she's a kept woman of some rich businessman." Although Su Hongguang didn't pay attention to these things, he knew a little about them. At the mention of this, Zheng Minjun's expression changed. "It's not like that at all. I think Ningxi has been with the Zhuang family this year." "Why is Ningxi with the Zhuang family?" "Hongguang, don't you know that she went to Sky Spring Villa with Meng Linling? She even introduced she as her niece in front of everyone. I'm afraid the Zhuang family has already acknowledged Ningxi." Hearing his wife's words, Su Hongwan's expression also changed. Chapter 1875. Shueluo spent so much effort to get 2 invitations, but she couldn't even say a few words after she went there. Who knows how much effort it took to get her to say something good. But once Ningxi left, because of a small matter, Meng Linlang flew into a rage and stood up for her. Everyone present was trembling with fear, afraid of offending her. Even Madame Li's attitude towards her was attentive and careful. Zhang Minjun didn't tell him what had happened at that time, or that she had said something wrong. Her tone was full of remorse for being robbed of what should have been hers. Is what you're saying true? Su Hongwan's expression was one of shock. Of course it's true. I saw it clearly, and I saw that many madams were very interested in Ningxi. Zhang Minjun began to pace around anxiously. Actually, we should have discovered it back then. We were too careless. Su Hongwan's expression was also a bit solemn. After a long silence, he said, "Don't mention the past. How Ningxi is now has nothing to do with us." How can it have nothing to do with us? Our Su Yin was supposed to marry a real lady from an aristocratic family. If Su Yin had married Ningxi, it wouldn't have been so difficult for him to move up now. The Qi family has always been suppressed by our Su family. It's only because our son married Minister Qin's daughter that they suddenly rose in status. Do you know how I feel every time I see Mrs. Qi's vile face? Listening to his wife's endless complaints, Su Hongwang helplessly pinched between his eyebrows. How can I not know this? But now things have become like this. At first, we thought Ningxi was not good enough. Knowing the truth, we still chose Shueluo. Now we want to change it. Su Yin and Shueluo have been married for more than a year. How can it be so easy? Zhang Minjun looked angry. How can you blame us? The Ning family lied to us first. Even if we let Su Yin divorce Shueluo and marry someone else, we are still in the right. Do you know that with Ningxi's current status, she will still be willing to marry into our Su family? Don't be so wishful thinking. You'll make a mess of the family. How could he not want to be related to the Zhuang family by marriage? However, there was a very practical problem. The current Ning, she was no longer the same as before. When Zhang Minjun heard her husband's tone, she immediately said proudly, "I'm sure I can do that. Have you forgotten how much that girl liked Su Yin back then? With our family, Su Yan's looks, character, and talent, isn't he 100 times better than those high-ranking officials' young masters? Even if that lass has the support of the Zhuang family, she still can't compare to a proper family's young miss. If I go and express my goodwill, would she be unwilling?" Su Hongwang's attitude was already somewhat shaken, but he still cautiously said, "This matter should be discussed at a later date." The next day, while Ningxi rested leisurely for a day, the media, fans, all the entertainment companies, and even the entire entertainment industry were in an uproar. After Ningxi disappeared for more than a year, the entertainment headlines that suddenly appeared at the promotional event for Under the Heavens were all over the place. At the airport, Su Yin returned from a business trip. After getting off the plane, he was on the phone with the driver who came to pick him up. He inadvertently looked up and saw the big screen in the middle of the airport from the corner of his eye. When he saw the girl singing on the screen with red eyes, he felt as if he'd been struck by lightning. Chapter 1876. Xiaoxi. Su Yin could no longer hear what the driver was saying on the other end of the phone. The noise around him receded like the tide. All that was left in his sight, eyes, and mind was a girl in a plain, white cheongsam singing softly on the big screen. The girl was holy and beautiful. She was wearing a floral dress and had an innocent face. It was as if she would disappear again in the next moment. The image on the big screen ended. Ningxi's figure disappeared. The man's heart tightened, as if it had been clenched by a sharp claw. "Xiaoxi." "President Su." "President Su, hello?" The driver asked anxiously when he didn't get a reply from his boss. Su Yin ignored the driver and hung up the phone. He opened the search engine. He didn't need to search hard. He only needed to search for the keywords, and he saw the entertainment headlines about Ningxi's comeback. It wasn't until he saw the reports that the man finally felt it was real. The girl who disappeared as if she had evaporated from the world was really back. The man clenched his phone tightly. The silent feelings in the depths of his heart suddenly erupted like a dormant volcano. Starlight Entertainment. Han Zixuan Studio. Zheng Anru looked at the internet water army that had started to move. She looked confident and said proudly, "Zixuan, don't worry. Ningxi is asking to be humiliated by coming back this time." After the initial excitement and enthusiasm for Ningxi's comeback, under Zheng Anru's deliberate guidance, more and more people began to question the reason why Ningxi disappeared for a year. At the promotional event that day, it was Ningxi who slyly diverted the fans' attention. How can it be so easy to get over it? She's just a has-been actress who retired after being abandoned by her sugar daddy and had no choice but to come out to fish for money. Everyone's spittle is enough to kill her. Han Zixuan's mood had been extremely bad these days. It wasn't until she saw the tide turn on the internet and more people were scolding Ningxi that her expression softened a little. What inspirational queen of the entertainment industry? Does she dare to say what she did during the year she disappeared for? Now that you've been dumped by your sugar daddy, you're thinking of lying to your fans to make money again. Do you really think everyone is stupid? To be honest, Ningxi's diehard fans, please don't criticize me. I used to be a loyal fan of Ningxi, so I know very well that although Ningxi's spear dance in the promotional activity is barely watchable, it can't compare with Brother Xi's previous level at all. Okay? I think this year is really going to be a year of luxury and not making any progress. Yes, what we want is the best Brother Xi, not a defective product. At first, there were only passers-by who questioned it, but many people follow the trend of the internet. Gradually, some fans began to waver, except for some diehard fans and Jiang Mai's fans who remained silent for the time being. Zheng Anru happily browsed through the recent advertisements and collaborations in her hands. After Ningxi's incident, you're even more popular now. It's even better than the scandal with Jiang Mai. Those investors who wavered before are also watching. They are not fools. They won't give up a popular star like you for a has-been. Han Zixuan held the iPad and slowly swiped it, enjoying the comments on the internet. Don't take it lightly. She will be prepared. Zheng Anru didn't care at all. What preparation can she have? Even if she makes up a story, it can't explain the fact that she disappeared for a whole year. Chapter 1877. She's just a broken flower, and she wants to make a comeback? She wants to suppress you? That's just wishful thinking. Just be a stepping stone for her. So what if that vixen bewitches her fans? If we can do it once, we can do it again. Don't worry, your fans will definitely come back to you, and they will be more loyal to you after this. Zheng Anru said confidently, as if she was speaking from experience. Han Zixuan didn't take Ningxi seriously. Seeing that the public opinion on the internet was completely on their side, she relaxed and said casually, "Let's find some time to get some fans some benefits. Don't worry, I've been preparing for it for a long time." The selection of the most popular male star in the entertainment circle is about to begin. Let's take advantage of this momentum and directly win it. Then Ningxi will open her eyes wide and see clearly whose territory the entertainment circle is now. Han Zixuan didn't take it seriously. What's there to prepare for? Do I need to fight with her? Of course not. There's no doubt about the result. We'll completely crush her. Dear Town. Liang Feixing was anxious as he read the increasingly ugly words on the internet and all kinds of slanderous accusations thrown at him. If she couldn't give her fans a satisfactory explanation, then everything would be in vain, and Ningxi's every step in the future would be as difficult as climbing up to heaven. Ningxi would have no chance to make a comeback once the label of keeping a mistress and retiring was put on her. In the small garden, Liang Feixing kept pacing back and forth anxiously. Depression? Study abroad? Change careers? Even if you're married, no matter what the reason is, it can't explain why you didn't show up for a whole year and didn't even come out to explain to your fans. He knew too well that if there wasn't a good enough reason to shut everyone up, there would definitely be endless troubles in the future. Liang Feixing sighed as he looked cautiously at Ning, she who was sitting on a rattan chair. In reality, even he didn't know why Ning-Shi had gone into seclusion and why she had gone into seclusion so thoroughly. The netizens were now saying that Ning-Shi left without saying a word because she felt guilty. Some even suspected that she was cold-hearted and didn't care about her fans at all. Otherwise, why didn't she show up when so many people were worried about her? In addition to Ning-Shi, Jiang Mai was also there. Except for taking a shower, he still dressed like an old man and did not pay attention to his image. Lei Ming had given up on treating him. He just hoped that he would not cause any trouble. Jiang Mai turned his head and glanced at Ning-Shi, only to see that she was deep in thought, looking a little embarrassed. Seeing this, Jiang Mai held his chin and muttered, "Why do you worry so much? Just tell the truth to the fans. You've been lying in bed in a vegetative state for an entire year. How are you supposed to appear? How are you supposed to appear? How are you supposed to speak? What?" Hearing this, Liang Feixing almost jumped up in shock. Ning-Shi, you've been in a vegetative state for a year. Although he had already guessed that Ning-Shi might be sick because of her body, he didn't expect the situation to be so serious. Moreover, with Ning-Shi's relationship with his boss, the inside story might involve a lot of things. This was probably the real reason why he didn't announce Ning-Shi's retirement. Just as countless thoughts flashed through Liang Feixing's mind, there was a sound of steady footsteps behind him. Liang Feixing immediately turned around with a solemn expression. "Boss." Lu Tingxiao handed him a file bag and said, "Publish it." "This is..." Liang Feixing took it hesitantly. Opening it, he was overjoyed. The treatment record and diagnosis certificate of the Capital Military Hospital. With this, there will be no problem at all. Chapter 1878. Ning-Shi glanced at the thing in Liang Feixing's hand and guessed what it was. She couldn't help frowning. Lu Tingxiao knew what she was worried about. He walked up to her, squatted down, and took her hand. "Sorry, I didn't announce the reason because I was worried that the media would get to the bottom of it and disturb your recuperation. Besides, you don't have to worry about anything else, whether it's the Lu family or the Zhuang family." Liang Feixing nodded as he listened. That's right. Anyway, he had boss, the super cheat. As for why he became a vegetable, it was an accident, a car accident. He could come up with a flawless reason. Ning-Shi sighed softly. "How could it be your fault? In fact, if it were me, I would choose not to tell the fans the truth." When Ning-Shi said this, she thought of how Lu Tingxiao spent every day, every minute, and every second in hope and endless disappointment. She suddenly felt a pang of heartache. Liang Feixing and Jiang Mai looked at the affectionate couple. Liang Feixing said, "Ahem, I suddenly feel so bright." Jiang Mai shook his legs calmly. "You'll get used to it." Liang Feixing, after discussing and arranging some follow-up matters, Liang Feixing made the next public relations plan. Now, they could wait for the news to spread on the internet and hold a press conference tomorrow night to officially announce Ning-Shi's comeback and the truth that she had retired for a year. Su Tao, who was racking his brains to think of a way to deal with it, received a call from Liang Feixing. He was also shocked when he learned the reason why Ning-Shi retired. "I didn't expect it to be like this." "What's the reason?" "What will they say?" "The real reason involves a lot of things and can't be used. Second young master will block it and won't let the news leak out. We can use the car accident as the reason. It's simple and crude, but it's the most acceptable one. Shall I inform the media and announce the press conference tomorrow?" Okay. After the call, Su Tao lit a cigarette, thought for a moment, and posted on Weibo, "Tomorrow at 8 p.m., Royal Duke Hotel. Ning-Shi's comeback press conference." Simple and clear. As soon as this post was posted, it caused a sensation on Weibo. Ning-Shi was finally going to hold an official comeback press conference. Apart from that, it was also because of Ning-Shi's retirement. The comments under Weibo were all asking questions. What about the reason for Ning-Shi's retirement? Is it really because she abandoned herself and found a sugar daddy, just because she became famous like other female stars? We only care about the reason why Ning she retired. Why did he leave without saying a word? What does she take her fans for? Throw it away after using it? What are you all so anxious about? The officials have already announced that there will be a press conference. Of course, they will give us an explanation. Before things are clear, you keep talking about finding a sugar daddy. You don't even have the most basic trust. Is this your so-called love and support? The Internet Water Army and the fans who were led by the Internet Water Army's words, as well as some of Ning-Shi's diehard fans who couldn't stand it anymore. All the comments were mixed together, and there was a war below. Su Tao looked at the expected development and posted a second Weibo. Sometimes the truth is better forgotten. Haha, screw Zheng. When I was in this circle, you were still playing in the mud, trying to stir up public opinion. Chapter 1879. Liang Feixing was on his way back to the company when he saw Su Tao's second post. Liang Feixing didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he saw this post, which was a great contrast to Su Tao's image. In terms of shamelessness, Su Tao was quite suitable to be Ning-Shi's agent, because he could make up for Ning-Shi's shortcomings. Ning-Shi was too honest, and so was Lin Ziji's style. Han Zixuan would post a post on Weibo to show her misery, even if she had a scratch on her arm. But Ning-Shi, no matter how badly injured she was or how hard she worked, she never complained or mentioned it to her fans. Everyone only saw her bright and beautiful, and the media always said that she was a rare genius actress in the entertainment circle, as if all her achievements were based on her talent. Liang Feixing knocked on the door and walked into Su Tao's office, only to find Isudong there. Isudong's face was very gloomy. What do you mean? Ning-Shi is back, and you didn't say a word about it. As the general manager of the company, I heard it from others. Now you're trying to find an agent for Ning-Shi, and you're holding a press conference. Did you ask me for all of your questions? Leaving and coming back as you please? What do you think Golden Arrow is? Liang Feixing raised his eyebrows. So, President, he doesn't want Ning-Shi to return to Xianxia. Don't worry, I'll help you pass the message. Isudong, who had been showing off just now, suddenly changed his expression. Liang Feixing, don't try to drive a wedge between us. When did I say that I didn't want Ning-Shi to come back? I meant that you should consult me, the general manager. First, look at the comments on the internet. It's simply unbearable to look at. It's because you didn't prepare anything and acted recklessly without saying a word that we're in such a passive position. Let me tell you, from now on, I will take over everything about Ning-Shi. The two of you will be temporarily suspended from your duties and go home. What right do you have to decide all this without the company's permission? Who gave you the courage to do this? You are rebelling. Isudong was the one who complained first. He was even prepared to kick them away and grab Ning-Shi tightly, relying on her to turn the situation around. Su Tao and Liang Feixing looked at each other, and their faces were a little gloomy. Although they expected Isudong to be in a difficult position, they didn't expect him to be so shameless. If Isudong really intervened, they would be in trouble. At this moment, the sound of footsteps came from the door. There was a knock on the door. Then, the three of them saw a man leaning against the door. The man was wearing a flashy light blue suit. His exquisite and dazzling face was enough to kill a group of handsome men in the entertainment industry. I gave them the courage. Do you have a problem with that? The moment the man's lazy voice fell, Su Tao and Liang Feixing's faces were filled with excitement. Second young master, especially Su Tao. He didn't know the relationship between Ning-Shi and the Liu family. Xianxia was just one of them. Ever since Ning-Shi's departure, Golden Era had been given free rein by Liu Jingli. After all, the Liu Group had hundreds of companies under it, and Golden Era was just one of the companies that Liu Jingli had trained on. When Isudong saw Liu Jingli, his arrogant expression immediately changed. His face turned pale, and he said in a trembling voice, Second young master. Chapter 1880. Damn it. Didn't second young master return to the company? Why did he suddenly come to Golden Era? And at a time like this, Isudong wiped the sweat off his forehead and said eagerly, "Second young master, it's not what you think it is. Those two people are too reckless. How could they do something so reckless when it's Ningxi's comeback? Because of that, I realized that Golden Era's situation has not been good for the past year. However, when Ningxi suddenly disappeared, Lin Zhizhi didn't care about the company and resigned. I could only try my best to find Han Zishuan, the most suitable candidate to replace Ningxi. Who would have thought that Han Zishuan and Zheng Anru would be ungrateful and take all our resources to another company? They even poached so many of our people. But don't worry, second young master, I'll take over Ningxi personally. I'll make sure that Golden Era returns to its former glory. As long as he can make a comeback, everything would be fine." Isudong expressed his loyalty and pushed all the blame away. It was Ningxi's fault, Lin Zhiji's fault, Han Zishuan's, Zheng Anru's fault, and Starlight Entertainment's fault. Anyway, it had nothing to do with him. This level of shamelessness was simply breathtaking. Lu Jingli smiled as he looked at the flattering man in front of him. "Do I look like an idiot?" Su Tao's mouth twitched while Liang Feixing turned his head to hold back his laughter. Isudong's face contorted. How? How can this be? Why do you say that, second young master?" The smile on Lu Jingli's face faded and was replaced by a cold glare. "I've never touched any of the company's artists. Do you think the company is your harem? Do you think you can spoil anyone you want? Do you think you can give resources to anyone you want?" Lu Jingli's tone and demeanor were not inferior to Lu Tingxiao's when he was enraged. Isudong's initial plan to bluff his way out of the situation was gone. Isudong broke out in cold sweat as he struggled. No. Why would I touch any of the company's artists? Those are all rumors. Don't believe them, second young master. I'm really doing this for the company." Lu Jingli had no patience to listen to his nonsense. He raised his hand and gestured for someone from the company to take over Golden Era and deal with Isudong. Isudong was still indignant until he was taken away. He could not understand why Lu Jingli would suddenly appear. Damn it, Liang Feixing, Su Tao, it must be those two bastards. He actually dared to complain behind his back. He wanted to see what would become of Xianxia Entertainment after he was kicked out of the company. No matter what, he was the one who brought Han Zishuan up. Did they really think that Ningxi could bring Han Zishuan down or even save Golden Era? What a joke. Su Tao heaved a long sigh of relief when he saw Lu Jingli deal with Isudong without any hesitation. He didn't forget to flatter Lu Jingli, second young master. You're really wise and perceptive. Lu Jingli said expressionlessly. I've helped you solve everything that needs to be solved. The new general manager will cooperate with you. If you need anything, you can look for him directly. Thank you, second young master. Lu Jingli nodded and left. Looking at the man's departing figure, Su Tao sighed. It's only been a year, and second young master seems to have changed into a different person. Liang Feixing also nodded. I heard that there has been a lot of turmoil in the group recently. Just when Su Tao and Liang Feixing were impressed by Lu Jingli's maturity. In the car, a certain Koi was making a phone call to claim credit. Sister-in-law, I'm telling you I was so cool just now. I was so cool that you had to cook me a sweet and sour pork ribs. Chapter 1881. Soon after Su Tao posted on Weibo, Zheng Anru also saw it at once. Tut, how dare he hold a press conference? He even posted that it's better to forget the truth. Did he think that by saying some inexplicable and ambiguous words, he would be able to avoid the important and dwell on the trivial and divert the attention? It's the same old trick again. I won't let him get away with it so easily this time. Keep an eye on him. Han Zishuan glanced at Zheng Anru. She didn't want to make any mistakes again. Jiang Mai's affair had hurt her a lot. She took great pains to explain to the fans that it was out of professional ethics that she didn't come forward to explain the truth in time. However, the more the fans hated and wronged Jiang Mai before, the more they would vent their anger on her at this moment. It would take a long time to appease the fans' anger. Not to mention that Jiang Mai's fans were well known in the industry for their high fighting power. After this incident, she had lost a lot of fans of her and Jiang Mai. The most important thing was that after this incident, she couldn't have any scandals with Jiang Mai in the future. Not only that, she had to avoid Jiang Mai's name as much as possible. She was going to get revenge from Ningxi. Zixuan, don't worry. I will keep an eye on them. We will also arrange for our people to deal with the reporters. No matter what reason they use, we will never let him get away with it. Think about it. What reason can explain that Ningxi didn't show up for a whole year? Just the fact that she abandoned her fans is enough to make it difficult for her to move forward in this industry. The next night, in the Royal Duke Hotel, the press conference of Ningxi's comeback was about to be held. Since morning, the outside of the hotel had been surrounded by fans and various media reporters. The entire hotel was so packed that not even a drop of water could trickle through. It was even harder to get an invitation to the press conference. 10 minutes before the start of the press conference, a black car was parked across the road a few hundred meters away from the hotel. In the car, Su Yin was staring at the entrance of the hotel. After a lot of noise, a nanny car stopped at the entrance of the hotel. Ningxi was quickly escorted into the hotel by her bodyguards. From Su Yan's angle, he only saw the corner of a light-colored dress. However, he suddenly clenched the steering wheel and breathed heavily. After learning that Ningxi had appeared, he went to her place, including the place where she might be. However, he still found nothing, so he could only wait here. Since he learned that Ningxi was going to hold a press conference here yesterday, he had parked his car near the hotel overnight. At this moment, the multi-function hall of the hotel was fully occupied. Even the walkways were filled with reporters. The entire press conference would be broadcasted live on a popular video website. Other than the reporters present, all the fans were waiting in the live broadcast room. May I ask if it's true that Ningxi retired because she had a sugar daddy? Ningxi doesn't want to make progress, and her strength has declined. Can she really continue her previous glory after her comeback this time? Ningxi was irresponsibly absent from so many important occasions and even the award ceremony. She ignored the fans' worries and calls. Now she appears to make money. Isn't it disrespectful to the fans? At the beginning, the reporters' questions were sharper and sharper. All sorts of nasty words and questions were thrown at him in the live stream channel. What should I do? Just pretend that I have a heart of glass. No matter what Brother Shi's reason is, I still feel like I've been abandoned. Upstairs, you're not alone. Chapter 1882. Let's see what Brother Shi has to say first. What's there to see? No matter what happens, come out and say something to reassure us, okay? But no, nothing. I think Zixuan is the best. She interacts with us a lot and is so kind. It feels like she's valued. There were more and more such comments. The reporters and internet water army, arranged by Zheng Anru, firmly grasped the fatal point of abandoning fans. They didn't forget to praise Han Zixuan while belittling Ningxi. Thank you for coming today, and thank you to the fans who were waiting in front of the live broadcast. The press conference began. After a brief opening speech, Liang Feixing handed the microphone to Ningxi. About the reason why Ningxi retired a year ago, Ningxi will explain it to you personally. Hearing Liang Feixing's words, the press conference suddenly fell into a dead silence. Even the comments in the live broadcast room suddenly stopped. All eyes were focused on the girl sitting in the middle on the stage. Even Su Tao and Liang Feixing looked a little nervous. Although there was no problem with the evidence this time, this step was really too critical. She took the microphone from Liang Feixing. After a few seconds of silence, she said, "I'm sorry that I can't appear here until now to give you an explanation. 1 year ago, I retired because I was accidentally injured and became a vegetable and fell into a deep coma." The moment Ningxi's voice fell, all the reporters' expressions were full of shock, and after a short pause in the live stream room, it completely exploded. Vegetable? Brother, she actually became a vegetable? Really? Was I hallucinating just now? Liang Feixing and Su Tao nervously paid attention to the reactions of all parties. They were waiting for Xianxia to continue speaking, but found that she had already put down the microphone. Liang Feixing almost collapsed. I asked you to explain the reason, but you really didn't say anything else? Su Tao looked helpless. Seeing that Xianxia performed so well at the promotional ceremony of the world that day, he thought he didn't have to worry about it today, so he just gave her a brief reminder. Now he knew that Xianxia really wasn't good at stirring up emotions, acting pitiful, and showing weakness. Was that why she chose to sing at that time, to express her feelings? Fortunately, Liang Feixing and Su Tao were able to control the situation. Liang Feixing quickly asked the staff to send a certificate to all the reporters and announced it on the big screen behind them. What is this? I don't know. Let's take a look. Damn. The Capital Military Hospital's diagnosis. Severe brain injury. Vegetable. Before the reporters and fans in the live broadcast room could question Xia's words, they had been smashed in the face by the irrefutable evidence. At the same time, Su Tao said solemnly, back then, when Xianxia was first injured, everyone thought a miracle would happen. This girl would definitely wake up. After all, she has gone through so much. We, we. Chapter 1883. Su Tao's words were so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Su Tao took a deep breath and continued. But as time went by, Xianxia still didn't wake up at that time. Xia's mother and 9 firmaments were released one after another. She was really popular. We had never been as popular as we were at that time. We hoped that she would not be so popular, so that we could buy more time for her, even if it was just for one day. However, in the end, we worked so hard for so long. In the end, it was still the worst result. 3 months for 3 whole months. Xianxia still did not wake up at that time. The doctor said that after 3 months with her condition, it was impossible for her to wake up. Su Tao continued to narrate everything in detail to everyone, and even every detail made everyone feel their despair and grief. Su Tao's expression was a little sarcastic. You all know what happened next. From the fans' riot to Xianxia being completely forgotten, it was only a year. We never announced the truth of Xia's retirement. For this, we need to apologize to every fan who cares about Xia. Speaking of this, Su Tao changed the topic again, and his eyes were firm. But even if we were given another chance, even if we knew the consequences of doing so, we would still choose to do so. Because once it was announced, Xianxia would have to face endless harassment from reporters and endless troubles. Even if she becomes a vegetable and lies in bed, she will not have a moment of peace. Hearing this, none of the reporters present said a word. Even they had to admit that if Xianxia really announced the truth of Xia's situation, they would definitely search all the hospitals to find Xianxia. They wanted to get first-hand news of Xianxia. Even for a long time after that, there would be opportunistic reporters staring at her, try to make a big news. Hearing Su Tao's words, Xia's fingers slightly clenched. Su Tao said a lot of things that even she did not know. Although Su Tao heard everything from Jiangmai and the others, and he was only a middleman recounting the events of that year, he instantly brought back the scenes of that year. What Sister Zhizhi, Jiangmai, Lu Tingxiao, and the others had experienced when she was in a coma. With that, Su Tao took a look at Xianxia beside him. We apologized to Xianxia for the fans' misunderstanding because of our handling of the matter. But at that time, Xianxia replied that if it were her, she would also choose not to say anything. Hearing Su Tao's words, there was a small commotion in the live audience and the live stream channel. Su Tao paused for a moment, sighed softly, and continued. Xianxia said, instead of letting you hold on to a slim hope and wait for an unknown period of time, it's better to let you completely forget her. Sometimes it was better to forget the truth. So, this was the real meaning of Su Tao's Weibo post. Just as Su Tao's voice fell at that very moment, at every corner of the country, the fans who were waiting in the live, streaming channel all burst into tears. The original has always been. It was all a misunderstanding. So from the beginning until now, it was not Brother Shi who had abandoned them, but they who had abandoned her. Good morning, I've finished updating. I got home very late last night. I was on update today, but I was afraid that you guys would be waiting too long, so I wrote it overnight. I hope everyone has a good time reading this. The author is going to take a nap. Chapter 1884. Su Tao's eyes swept over the silent reporters, and then he glanced at the overwhelming comments of the fans on the mobile phone. Oh, did they think it was over? Oh, her strength has been greatly reduced? She doesn't want to make progress? She's fooling her fans? Ning, she has been lying in bed in a vegetative state for a whole year. When she woke up, she even struggled to walk and talk. Even if she insisted on rehabilitation every day, it was impossible for her to recover in such a short time. But even so, she can still beat someone's so-called half-year professional training results. Who is the one who doesn't want to make progress? Who is the one who deceives her fans? Who is the one who just wants to make money? She is even worse than a vegetative person. How dare she come out and sell herself as a diligent and inspirational person? Who gave you the confidence? Su Tao's voice echoed in the hall, and he suddenly pointed the spearhead at Han Zixuan. Ning, she swept all the awards a year ago and dominated the entertainment circle. She did her best. Even if God played a big joke on her, even if she was forgotten by the world, she had no regrets. At first, Ning, she had no intention of making a comeback, but someone pushed her further and further. Speaking of this, Su Tao's eyes suddenly turned cold. At the same time, Liang Feixing played an edited video on the big screen behind him. In the video, a reporter in red asked Han Zixuan what she thought of Meng Chang'e, who was played by Ning Shi in the original novel. Then came Han Zixuan's answer. Every word was full of sarcasm. She even directly said, Zixuan is not comparable to those inferior people who rely on their looks and bodies to get to the top. This is an insult to Zixuan. In the video, when Zheng Anru said, those inferior people who rely on their looks and bodies to get to the top, all the fans in the live broadcast room suddenly exploded and cursed. And when Zheng Anru finally said, I hope you won't mention these insulting questions in the future, and don't mention Zixuan's name together with those inferior people, the anger of the fans in the live broadcast room reached its peak. At the same time, everyone suddenly understood one thing. Fuck you, Zheng Anru. How dare you say that about our brother Shi? As a top agent, how could she slander others in public without any basis? And the one she slandered was a senior in the circle. Is this her profession? Is this her accomplishment? My dear ones, I suddenly realized something. Jiang Mai. It turns out that the reason why Jiang Mai suddenly left the stage and posted that expletive was because of Brother Shi. Oh my god, it really is. Jiang Mai left abruptly after Han Zixuan's agent said those words. He's so cool. That Weibo post is so good. This is so satisfying. Our Brother Shi is more handsome, okay? Do you still remember Brother Shi's answer to the reporter, who said I'm not here to make trouble? Ow! I want to be Sano's CP fan for 10,000 years. Han Zixuan, get out of my way. The reporters present did not expect such a reversal at all, especially the reporters that Zheng Anru had planted. They were directly dumbfounded. Su Tao's surprise attacks came one after another, simply beating them until they had no strength to resist at all. This comeback press conference not only clarified the truth, but it also gave Han Zixuan and the others a tight slap in the face. Chapter 1885. At this point, Ning Shi's comeback was completely the will of the people, the general trend, and no external force could stop it. At the end of the press conference, Su Tao said with a sneer, the culprit of Ning Shi's car accident is still on the run. This sentence was ambiguous and didn't mention anyone, but it could instantly push Han Zixuan to the teeth of the storm and set her up. As soon as Ningxi left, Han Zixuan was promoted from a newcomer in Xianxia Entertainment to the top of the entertainment circle. So, was Ningxi's car accident an accident or someone else's? If it was someone else's, who did it? I'll leave this unlimited imagination to those reporters who want to create big news at the drop of a hat. After the press conference, in a nanny car, Liang Feixing raised his hand with a smile. Su Tao raised his eyebrows and also reached out his hand to high-five him. Liang Feixing stared at his high-spirited appearance and clicked his tongue. Sure enough, you should be the one to do these shameless things. You're so good at setting people up. Of course, he was also good at inciting people's hearts. Su Tao looked as if he had been praised and nodded his head. Of course. Then he covered his face and turned to Ningxi in the back seat to ask for credit. Your Majesty, what do you think of my performance today? Have I passed the probation period? Ningxi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Well, very good. Accustomed to Lin Ziji's rigid working style, Su Tao's style was really completely different. However, for her current complicated and tricky situation, Su Tao's tactful style was indeed a good thing. It could make up for her shortcomings. And now Zheng Anru and Han Zixuan must be furious. And that bastard Wang Haojuan, who asked you to poach my people. Su Tao looked happy. He had been holding back his anger for so long and finally vented it. Liang Feixing was also relieved that the most critical step was taken smoothly, but he still said cautiously, this time we can certainly hurt her, but it's impossible to trip her up. Su Tao shook his legs and stared at Ningxi with shining eyes. What are you afraid of? My green dragon crescent moon knife is no match for Zheng Anru's stupid kitchen knife. Ningxi, this metaphor. At the same time, Jiang Mai just finished watching the live broadcast of Ningxi's comeback press conference at home. Looking at the overwhelming number of Jiang Mai is so handsome, 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 Jiang Mai is so compatible with our brother Xi. A certain golden-haired man was in an unprecedentedly good mood. Jiang Mai picked up his phone and called Lei Ming. Hello, Brother Ming. Hey, little ancestor, what's the matter? Lei Ming asked while trembling with fear. He had always been the one to call this little ancestor, and this fellow rarely took the initiative to look for him. Book a stylist for me, Jiang Mai said. When Lei Ming heard this, he was shocked. Oh my God, little ancestor, you finally thought it through. I'll make an appointment for you right away. Cough, but what style do you want? Yours truly agrees to the change. Lei Ming, how could Jiang Mai be so cooperative? This time, the most popular male actor must be mine. Give me some attention, understand? Jiang Mai urged. Lei Ming, not only did he cooperate, he even knew how to improve. In the past, when hadn't he begged Jiang Mai to give him some attention? But Jiang Mai just looked impatient and indifferent. He couldn't believe that he had finally made it. Chapter 1886. At the same time, many people were paying attention to the press conference. In the practice room of Xianxia Entertainment, the new and old artists who were watching the live broadcast cheered excitedly. Wow, Brother Tao is awesome. Han Zixuan and the others are in for it. I didn't expect Brother Xi to retire because of this. Oh my God, a vegetable in a car accident. I even said that Brother Xi had regressed when I saw him brandishing his gun. I want to apologize to Brother Xi. Brother Xi can't be too awesome. Senior Zhang's grievances have been cleared and Brother Xi is back. Xianxia is saved. Compared to the joy of Xianxia Entertainment, Starlight Entertainment was gloomy like never before. As soon as Ningxi's comeback press conference ended, the executives of Starlight Entertainment held an emergency meeting. Zheng Anru was so angry that she was about to vomit blood. That's Su Tao. He's so shameless. What did he mean by that last sentence? He's obviously trying to frame us for Ningxi's car accident. Arrange a lawyer right now. I'm going to sue him for defamation. Lu Wenliang, the director of public relations, glanced at her and said with a dark face, he only said that the perpetrator escaped and nothing else. How are you going to sue him? On the other hand, you as a manager didn't think before you spoke. You said something so groundless on that occasion. What did you mean by selling your body? Now, they have something on you. Look at how badly we're being scolded on the internet. Zheng Anru's face was cold. What groundless? Everyone knows that she sold her body and her face. Do we still need evidence? Lu Wenliang sneered. Show us the evidence if you have any. Do you think it's enough to say that? How can a top-notch manager say something like that? I can't communicate with you at all. Zheng Anru was about to speak when Wang Haojuan interrupted her angrily. All right, stop arguing. Did I ask you to come here to quarrel? Ning Shuilua had just dealt with Zhe Ling's matter when she received the news from Starlight Entertainment. She was extremely annoyed. Wasn't what happened at the promotional event enough to wake you guys up? Why did this happen again and again? Damn it. Ningxi. Why is it Ningxi again? Zhao Wenliang said in a low voice. Vice President Ning, it's not that we don't want to be vigilant, but Ningxi's evidence is too strong. We can't refute this reason at all. We just didn't expect that Su Tao would not only incite his fans, but also be so shameless. He not only put the blame on us, but also set us up. Although Su Tao doesn't have any evidence, gossip is a fearful thing. If this matter were to spread, it would greatly affect an artist's reputation. Ning Shuilua pinched the space between her eyebrows. Then we have to make use of the fact that there's no evidence. We can't let the fans be incited. As for Enru, I want you to issue a public apology now. Make sure you're sincere. What? You want me to apologize? Zheng Anru's expression changed instantly, and she looked at Han Zixuan subconsciously. Han Zixuan's expression was full of impatience. If you don't apologize, do you want me to go? Zheng Anru fell silent. Wang Haojuan face-bombed. That's the only thing we can do now. We'll try our best to recover our losses. Enru, you must take responsibility for this matter. Zixuan's image cannot be damaged in any way. She didn't mind, but out of politeness, she still sent a message to thank him. About 5 minutes later, Li Mine replied, "You're welcome. It's just that I didn't expect Xiaoxi to have so many fans and find this bouquet of flowers. It shows that you have carefully read every gift, and you are an idol worthy of fans' love." As expected of a diplomat, he was too good with his words. Although it might have been superficial words, his praise was reasonable and well-founded. Chapter 1888. In the black car near the hotel. After Su Yin finished watching the live broadcast of the press conference, he didn't move for a long time, as if he was petrified. Xiaoxi, such a big thing happened to her in this 1 year. And he didn't know anything at all. There were even times when he, like those people, questioned her. That once innocent and pure little girl, for him, left the place where she lived for 18 years for him, worked hard to adapt to the life she didn't like for him, bit by bit stripped away everything, bit by bit changed herself. She said, "Brother Yin, believe me, I can do it." She said, "Brother Yin, one day I can stand side by side with you." For the sake of their future, she had given up so much and worked so hard for so long. However, in the end, he had broken the promise between them and left her all alone, abandoned by everyone. Shueluo already had everything, but because of an accident, she had to start all over again. A certain decision in her heart, like a seed bursting out of the soil, broke through the sky in an instant, but she never responded to his messages and calls, not to mention to see him. The man picked up his phone, thought for a moment, and dialed a number. "Hello, Xianxia." "Huh, Brother Su Yin." Tang Nua's tone sounded a bit unnatural. When Su Yin and she were together, he was very close to Su Yin, almost treating him as his own brother. But since Su Yin and Ning Shui got together, they no longer contacted each other. "Have you seen the news? There's news about your sister." Su Yin said, My sister? What happened to my sister?" Didn't she go abroad for further studies? I've been preparing for the exam recently, so I didn't go online much. Tang Nua's first reaction was that my sister must be Ning Shi, and he didn't think of anyone else. Xianxia Entertainment. After Ning, she finished her work. She was about to go home when her personal phone suddenly rang. The caller ID showed that it was Tang Nua. Looking at the name on the screen, Ning Shi's eyes suddenly warmed, and then she felt a headache. Sure enough, as soon as she picked up the phone, Tang Nua's nagging came immediately. Sister, such a big thing happened to you, and I didn't know. Your assistant said you went abroad to study, and I actually believed it. I haven't heard from you for a year, and I didn't even know to look for you. I don't deserve to be your younger brother. You've been so good to me, but when you were in trouble and danger, I couldn't help you at all. I didn't even. Ning Shi helplessly interrupted the boy on the other end of the phone. Well, how can it be your fault? It's my fault. I'm sorry to make you worry. But don't worry, I'm alive and kicking now. There's no problem at all. He was in a vegetative state for a whole year. How could he be fine? Those people were simply too much. He said that to you. Be good, it's all in the past. Sister, where are you now? Can I come find you? Oh, if it's not convenient, then forget it. Tang Nua asked cautiously. If you want to see me, why wouldn't it be convenient? I'll go find you, but it's a little late now. Should I go to Sea City tomorrow? Ning, she said. Sis, I'm in the capital. Have you forgotten? That's right. My brother is awesome. He got into a university in the capital. Ning, she suddenly smiled. I'm at the company. It's quite close to your place. It'll only take a few minutes. Wait for me. I'll go to your place now. Sis, are you sure? What if it causes a sensation? It's late at night, it's fine. Besides, I'll change my clothes. Oh, okay. Then I'll wait for you at the stands of the school field. Okay. Chapter 1889. Brother Tao, I'm going to Capital University. Can you help me find some inconspicuous clothes? Ning, she asked Su Tao. Su Tao nodded. Okay, Your Majesty. But why are you going to Capital University so late at night? To see my brother. Ning, she answered. Do you need me to accompany you? Su Tao looked as if he wanted to be a leg ornament. It's okay. I'll have bodyguard around. Ning, she smiled. All right. Wait a moment. I'll go look for it for you. Su Tao happily ran off to serve the queen. After a moment, Su Tao proudly came over with a set of clothes. Ning Shi, what do you think of this? It's absolutely inconspicuous. Ning Shi looked at the Capital University uniform in Su Tao's hands and was speechless. It was really inconspicuous. She disguised herself as a student of Capital University. How did you get the uniform of Capital University? Ning Shi asked curiously. Su Tao shrugged. I don't know. I got it from the warehouse. It's not a costume. It's the original version. I've checked the size. It should fit you. Imperial Capital University's school uniform was famous for its beauty. So even though Imperial Capital University didn't require everyone to wear the school uniform, many students still like to wear it. This will do. It's pretty good. Thank you, Brother Tao. Ning Shi thanked him and went into the changing room to change. Then she tied her hair into a ponytail and put on a mask. Soon, she was dressed. When Ning Shi came out after changing, Su Tao's eyes lit up like a light bulb. Damn, who said my majesty was inconspicuous? Even if I'm blindfolded, I know she's a super beauty. I'd rather not wear a mask. Oh, I'm so worried. I don't want to sleep or drink. I have to keep an eye on her all the time. Otherwise, I'll be worried that she'll be eaten by a pig. Capital University. At night, the campus was lit by streetlights. Students walked by in groups of 3 or 5. On the playground, there were a few couples sitting sporadically. Some people were sweating and running on the track. Ning, she was wearing her school uniform. As she walked, she suddenly felt her whole body become quiet. Back then, with her grades, it would not have been a problem for her to get into Imperial Capital University. Unfortunately, because she had returned to the Ning family midway, all her energy had been spent on how to adapt and cater to those so-called celebrities, and her studies had been delayed. Because Su Tao had unexpectedly found this uniform for her, it made her feel like her dream had come true. Ningxi looked around as she slowly walked towards the stands. Raising his head, he saw a familiar figure in the corner of the grandstand. Ningxi quickened her pace and walked up the stairs towards Tang Nuo. Tang Nuo was also wearing the uniform of Imperial Capital University, but the collar of his shirt was unbuttoned and his coat was casually slung over his shoulder. After not seeing him for a year, the young man's facial features and figure had grown a lot. He was handsome and bright, and he was probably very popular with the girls in school. Ningxi sighed inwardly. She had a sense of déjà vu of my young man who had just grown up, Xiao Nuo. Tang Nuo was looking around eagerly when he suddenly saw a girl wearing a mask next to him. She was calling his name, so he looked over suspiciously. "Classmate? You are." Ningxi took off the mask on her face. Tang Nuo suddenly widened his eyes in surprise and joy. "Sister, that you're tuning in to the Eternal Immortal Ballad YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.